If more of you supported the show, I'd be less sick of podcasts.
The blah blah.
Sending out good vibes.
The blah blah.
Good vibes. Good vibes.
The blah blah.
Good vibes. Good vibes.
108 breaths of deep gratitude and prayers for guidance and protection, and put on a didgeridoo and shamanic drumming track.
They try to, it's like ego. They try and drive your ego down and ground you more. I don't know. But anyways, I had a terrifying dream that a Sasquatch was dragging me through the top of my sleeping bag out of the trailer.
Okay, guys, welcome back to the Grimerica Show. We are going to be chatting with Ashley Veenstra a little bit later about her adventures with Bigfoot out here in the Calgary and British Columbia mountains. Some close encounters of the what's it? Does Bigfoot have like a kind rating like ET does? Is it the fifth kind?
Like
fourth
CE5?
kind?
Well, yeah, it's almost CE5. Like I'd like to call her the Sasquatch Whisperer, really, because
Would
she
you?
was out there leaving them little things, and they were kind of roaming around her. It's an interesting episode.
And
Remember the time they were like taking certain things
Yeah.
from her, and then she'd go back and
if she's the Sasquatch Whisperer, then I think we'll make you Graham the Wonton Whisperer Dunlop. 'Cause, I mean,
I gotta quit those ones.
I don't think there's anybody on the planet that has wontons for breakfast as often as you do.
It's only a couple times a week.
Like 5?
No, a couple times.
They smell so good though. That's the thing is I like
Oh, they're
smell.
fucking
I
great.
smell the smell come wafting down the hall because like you're dipping them in that sauce. It just smells.
I gotta
great.
stop
You can't
it
be
though.
eating those for breakfast.
I gotta stop the wheat again. The wheat and the
Sounds
sugar.
like you said weed. You better clarify
Wheat.
that. Yeah.
Wheat. Yeah.
I went out last night for Friday nights. Usually my go out night
Yeah.
for dinner. I usually go out by myself. I like to go out by myself for an early dinner on Friday nights, with a book or with my phone. And I always, whenever I go for Vietnamese, I get the fucking wontons because I love them. They're great. But I skipped them last night. I was like, I've been giving Grandma a hard time for those wontons. Can't order the wonton. I did have the spring rolls though, but they're gluten free. The
Good.
gluten free spring rolls aren't quite as good,
No,
but
no.
they're still okay.
Yeah.
They get the job done.
Thinking about going carnivore for a couple weeks.
That's interesting you say that. I think Jason's pretty much there.
Oh, wow.
I'm going to meet Jason for lunch after this, and he was like, I need someplace I can even have steak or salad.
For lunch, it's like
Or sorry, dinner. Dinner, yeah.
sounds more keto to me then. If he's having
Yeah, it could be
salad.
keto. I
Yeah.
think he's just
Yeah.
off the carbs.
Yeah.
I'm pretty well. I definitely not having any carbs for dinner. I had an eggs Benedict for breakfast. So
Nice.
that's another thing that's I'll cheat for is an eggs
Yeah.
Benedict.
Yeah.
It's so fucking good.
Yeah.
So anyway, what's new? How you been? We got a
Good.
bunch of mail to open here.
Yeah, we got physical mail, we got some emails, we got listener feedback. A lot of some good feedback about the recovery book that we read,
Oh,
the
did
audio
you?
book there. Yep.
I actually got a couple things on that too. A couple people said that really came in at a good time.
Yeah, I think it's helping a lot of people. Some people said they've listened to it a few times, got some feedback on Instagram about it, and got an email about it as well. I could read that or
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I've been behind on Song of the Immortal Beloved, the whole studio, upgrading from Studio 1.3 to Studio 1.4 and shelling out the $250 or $300 that came with that. Set back that whole process.
Well,
For the
let's-
life of me, I still can't find the fucking insert a chapter button. So
Oh wow.
I'm still,
Wow. That's
so I'm using state-of-the-art $300 software.
and you
Brand new,
and
top
it, and,
line.
and it's changed
And
from
I
the old
still need-
revision
I still need
to
a
the point where you
notepad.
can't. Yeah.
To write down where all the chapter
Oh,
marks
that's
are right
great.
now because and what happens is I get it and I'm like, okay, I'm figuring it out now. So this is a problem. It's not like I just tried it one time for a while and I'm done. That's not how Darren operates. I do so many, write them down. That's like, okay, it's time to figure this out. And I go around, I can't find it. And as I look and I can't find it, and by now I'm just looking in the same spots over and over again, and I'm just super frustrated. I'm super frustrated with the whole process. I'm not super looking forward to editing the podcast again because I got to go into Studio 1.4 tonight or tomorrow morning. So
Oh, well, that's while we're on that topic.
I
Actually,
think I'm going to email them and just find out once and for all.
the support will be that good. You can actually email back and
For
forth.
$400 or
supporting.
for
Better be,
$300
eh?
fucking dollars, it better be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, this is a book. Darren's talking about that book, Song
By
of
the
the
way,
Immortal Beloved by
Don't feel
by
too
Eric-
sorry for us.
Eric
because
P. Antoni.
I had been doing a workaround for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Don't feel
Yeah.
too sorry for me.
Yeah. Anyways, on that
Karma.
topic, I got an email from Eric too, because we are doing
That's
this
what it is.
audio book from him.
It's fucking
But,
karma.
Yeah, probably. Yeah,
Fuck.
it'll get better.
That's right.
Anyways, he sent an email and he says, just a quick update. People can download the Kindle of Song of the Immortal Beloved for free starting for 4 days starting today. So
What day is today?
it's today, like Saturday. So today,
So
Saturday,
this is
November
coming out
9th.
Sunday. So you guys got till Tuesday.
Yeah, so I'll put a link in the show notes. And of course, he was asking about the audiobook. That'll be ready soon. We're going to do a couple
I'm on it.
more as well.
Tuesday, November 12th. Get that
Yeah,
shit.
this is a big
Get
book.
it.
Like it's a 800-page book. It's pretty fascinating about spiritual alchemy.
I'm like 13 or 14 hours through editing it.
yeah, that's good.
I just need one more good sitting. And then I got to figure out how to add all the chapters. But I'll have it ready right away.
Okay.
And then you're going to start reading F Word this weekend. You're going to fly through that compared to...
I think it's called Understanding the F Word, right? Is that
Understanding
what
the
it
F
is? Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to do that.
I'll have some black budget action there. Okay. So let's hear your email.
Oh, yeah. I got that email about the...
Should I play a jingle?
Nah. Hey, Graham. I got to say to you and Darren a big thank you. I greatly appreciated your reading of the book I heard today because I have not heard of this community yet. I'm 42 now, been using heroin since 19 years old. Done small bits of time in jail, overdosed several times, had a heart attack on shrooms, and used almost every other drug I could find for the duration of this time as well. Now I'm a single father with 3 young kids and a mother that is on a never-ending ice bender. Crack, I guess, he says. I've got myself clear of hard drugs now and just have a couple of my homebrew beers daily and smoke a small joint most nights when the kids are in bed. I've done NA and AA for a decade or more and rehab 5-6 times. I studied Buddhism in my younger years a bit, but always throughout using. Anyway, I'm not sure. You don't need to hear all this. I just got to say how grateful I am for you guys all around, not just this podcast episode, but all of them. I'm entirely isolated in my small town, my small conservative farming community, and I have no place in any social circles here. Grimerica, Snake Bros, and a few other podcasts are the only thing I have in my life that I feel connected to. And these podcasts have kept my life together for almost 2 years now. So I thank you for this beyond words I can describe. This reading has now opened me to a new online community, and I can't say at this point that it's something I'm going to be a part of, but I can say I'm going to take the time to give it a try. You guys are awesome, and the internet and this new media platform that it has brought to isolated people is a godsend. It's just a pity it's so slow for people to get involved in. No one else I know listens to podcasts.
You got to get in the chats, man.
Yeah, get in the chats.
Grimerica.ca/chats. You will find friends in the chat.
Yeah.
I promise you
Yeah.
that.
Anyway, I got too many kids around. I'm probably losing the point of what I want to say, but thanks. I got the main stuff down. Cheers, guys. Again, much appreciated. Happy to keep donating forever at this point. Thanks. So the other thing is,
That's super.
I should
humbling.
put a recovery thing. Do we have one in the chats? A little channel in the chats for like recovery talk?
No, you should.
We should probably
Ryan. We need a recovery.
channel. People are gonna
What do you
get
wanna
upset
name
because
it?
there's so many channels. Recovery talk, maybe? Or
You got a problem with the amount of channels? I don't know. I will make a complaint channel,
yeah.
but I'm never going to go in there and read the complaints. Half the time I change my name so people don't know who I am. I
Oh, is that
sneak
you
around.
doing that?
Yeah,
I
I'm
see
always
these-
changing my name because I get a different reaction. I like to go undercover.
You can't. That's not fair because you don't like it when other people do that.
I don't mind if they change their name as long as they have an avatar.
As long as they have an
Just
avatar.
have an
you gotta
avatar.
Have an avatar. It
You
doesn't
know-
have to be your
you know who
picture.
doesn't have
just
an avatar?
anyone, right?
A fucking bot doesn't have an avatar.
Sure, some bots do too these days.
Oof.
They have the hot chick avatar
Don't get
usually.
me started. The bots. I think we got a pretty bot-free community there, though. Anyway, thanks for listening. And we're super stoked that
You like the book, yeah.
hey, we're happy. It's super humbling to hear we have that kind of effect on people with our lazy ramblings here. Hope you enjoy the show. We hope you enjoy the chats. We thank you for your money. Grimerica.ca/support. For those of you who aren't supporting the show, we have been through a little bit of a little stilt in support here lately. As we're transitioning into winter, seeing some support drop off. I don't know what the reason for it is. Maybe the value of the show is not up these days. I feel like the value is up there. And maybe we're just forgetting to remind you guys. So I'm going to take the blame here and say that I haven't done a good enough job of reminding you guys that we need you to support the show so we can keep creating this valuable asset for you guys. If you guys are finding the podcast valuable, head to grimerica.ca/support. Sign up for a monthly today. I don't care if it's $1 a month, but it's time to sign up because we need some support. That's the energy exchange that keeps the show flowing.
Or a one-time donation, that's good too.
Oh, yep, whatever.
Or actually, like we've got here in the studio.
We're going to get to that in a sec. Should I go? I wanted to play the voicemails.
Okay, sure, let's do that. Yeah.
I think we have a couple of voicemails here.
Hopefully they're okay because we haven't listened to them yet. We haven't pre-listened to them, so this is kind of just doing it live and raw. Yeah, here we go. You can call that number 403-702-6083, or you can text actually too.
Oh, how I wish I could join you guys in Bryce Canyon next April. I jumped at the chance to get that last spot, and then my group music leader
How do I restart it?
sprung this tour on me, so I have to go do this job. Boy, I love my job, but I would love to be with you guys.
One, I think.
Watching the night sky in the place of my job.
No.
Boy, I love my job, but I would love to be with you. Hi, Darren. Hi, Graham.
Got it.
This is Bryce calling from Toronto.
Hey, Bryce.
Oh, how I wish I could join you guys in Bryce Canyon next April. I jumped at the chance to get that last spot, and then my group music leader sprung this tour on me, so I have to go do this job. Boy, I love my job, but I would love to be with you guys. Watching the night sky in the place of my birth name.
End of message. To erase this message, press 7. Message erased. Next message.
Hello, it's Bryce again. My phone got cut off. Good thing I tried 3 times to get through to you. I'm going to see you guys in Bryce Canyon. I hope you have a great time. I was conceived there in 1980, sometime in August, in a top of a Volkswagen camper van, a cream-colored van that my folks had rented to do a road trip in the United States.
That's when I was conceived.
Duty calls. My work as a chamber musician throughout Canada continues. So I hope you guys have a great time and do some amazing things. I've been practicing some Wim Hof breathing, and it's pretty fascinating. What else? I miss you guys. I miss Alberta. I hope we get to meet someday. Take care of yourself, and safe travels up there. I've been meditating with some crystals. It's working. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.
Awesome. Thanks,
End of
Bryce.
Message erased.
Thanks, Bryce.
End of
is
unheard
there-
messages.
Okay, that's it. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks. Oh, man, we should get into that contact at the cabin then. It's in Bryce Canyon. When in April?
April 16th to 19th.
16th.
Yeah, people are starting to make travel plans. Things are starting to buzz. A bunch of us going to show up in Vegas.
Maybe nighttime. Maybe next time, Bryce. Can join us.
Yeah.
Or if you're through Calgary.
Well, I
at all,
want
too,
Bryce
like-
to be an annual event.
Yeah.
I think.
I don't know about that. We got too many other ones we got to do. We got to do contact at the castle too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but Bryce is a nice little weekend. I think it'd be a nice little thing.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually we don't have to keep going to him. We could take turns or something.
Yeah.
But it's an easy little weekend down in the stars. So, and I think that'd be good for the soul, man, to do that, to see those stars.
Just don't get stuck in Vegas.
No, getting stuck in Vegas ain't a problem for me, man. I'm not drinking in Vegas.
Good.
No chance. I'm going to buy a big old joint, smoke it on the strip, and maybe go see a show.
Good.
I would like to see, because there's a bunch of us now talking about maybe showing up a day early in Vegas.
Oh, see, I knew that was going to happen.
It'd be cool,
trouble.
but
That's
none of us are
trouble.
drinkers. No, it's like me and
Okay.
Brandon. No
All
one
right.
drinks.
Okay, good.
We're just thinking about getting maybe a nice hotel room and eating some edibles, and taking some pictures in a nice hotel room, and get out the next morning and go.
Okay, that's good. I've just had problems in Vegas. I'd
imagine you've had all sorts of trouble in
missed
Vegas.
my flight twice, so that's,
No, I did the ultimate sniff test on alcohol this weekend, and I was not interested.
I was there for a work trip once, and my buddy had to pack for me. And I was there for a hockey trip once, and my buddy had to pack for me. Wasn't always my fault. One time I was caught.
My buddies were packing for me in Phoenix. Yeah, so that's going to be a great little time. I think there's one 825 spot left, and there might be a private room left. I haven't decided yet. Cool. I might still take that private room. I'm really humming and hawing about it. I probably won't decide for another month or so. But anyway, so there's one spot left. I haven't really been mentioning it just because just in case. I mean, Bryce was kicking tires. There was like 4 or 5 people kicking tires on it, but everyone has sort of stopped kicking tires. So there's one spot left at 825. Of course, that's food, transport, everything. Check out contact@thecabin.com. All the details are there. Get signed up. Of course, keep your eye on contact@thecabin.com because something tells me the next Randall event is going to get announced soon. So keep your eye on that. And then after that, I guess we're off to the castle. So UK people, let us know where, like, what do we need from the UK crowd before we do this? I mean, we'll get Fenton in, obviously.
I got an email from Shannon.
Hancock.
Hey, my favorite podcast, humans. Another CAC that I can't get to. It's not okay. You'd sell out in the UK. Hashtag CAC UK. Come on, you know it has to happen. Love you. Kind regards.
Yeah, it has to happen. I agree. But next year, it can't happen next year.
Maybe 2021.
It's got to be 2021.
Yeah. And we should probably do it in the summer because
we should.
I don't want to be driving around in the rain and stuff.
And the thing about that is, I need to formulate something around it too, because I don't want to just go to the UK for 3 or 4 days. If I go to the UK, I want to see Scotland and Ireland too. I think. Like I need a couple weeks.
No, well,
or how long do I need?
Oh.
Every time I say it's small, you get all mad. Everyone gets all mad when I say the UK is tiny. I can see it.
It still takes a while to travel around, man. You
like
can't
3 days.
It's all the roads are windy. You know what I mean?
Because the roads are windy.
How long
do I need? UK people, tell me how long I need in the UK.
Well, it depends on how much you want to do. I mean, if you want to see Ireland, Scotland, and England, you need 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah,
that could work. I think I'd want to take the kids on that.
Yeah,
if I go,
you need 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But I also don't think you need to see all those. You could do like a week and just do England and Scotland and forget Ireland.
Ireland's so green, though.
So is Scotland.
Green's my favorite color.
Yeah.
I got to go to Ireland. There's no way I'm going all the way there. And I'll see what the flights are like.
Yeah.
Might be better to it might actually work out cheaper to fly to Ireland for a weekend sometime.
Yeah, maybe. Well, yeah, I don't think you want to do that. It's like 9 hours. So
is it 9 or 7?
Well, 8 maybe.
Oh, maybe we could just fly in for a Saturday meetup and come back. Let's do a meetup at the closest little pub to the airport. Get some fish and chips. Get a hat. All right, let's move on. I'm going to play the jingle. We'll get into the mail.
Okay.
This is probably the biggest haul we've had at the P.O. Box since we got it.
Yeah, it's been pretty good, yeah.
Get out a pen and paper and write this down. Or a pencil. Why don't you send some physical mail to the Grimerica show? At P.O. Box 16033. Next line. 100-815, 17th Avenue, SW. Next line. Calgary, Alberta. Next line. Canada. Next line. T2T space 5H7. That's the P.O. Box. Why don't you send Darren some dirty socks? Cause he's got a dirty sock fetish. Why don't you send Graham some gold bullion? Cause he's got a gold bullion fetish.
So here we got this come all the way from Scotland. So he must have went to a real effort to get the Canadian cash.
Oh, so this is a book with some...
I wish you would have thrown in a pound, though. I've never seen a pound.
An English pound, really?
No, yeah. Do you have any?
I might, yeah.
Can you bring me one?
Oh, sure, I'll look.
And a shilling?
I don't know.
Or what's a pence?
That's a penny, like a tiny little thing.
What's a shilling?
I don't know what a shilling is.
What's under... Isn't there something underneath the pound?
Maybe that's a shilling. I don't know.
Anyway, dear Darren and Graham, greetings all the way from rainy Scotland. I thought I'd take a minute to write this letter. It says minute. Do they do? I'm not going to nitpick. I thought I'd take a minute to write this letter to you both and say thank you for providing such a fantastic podcast every week. I spend most of working week driving around the city for hours on end. I usually dread going into work, but whenever I'm there and can plug myself into your show, it makes those long weeks go by so much easier and fills those hard days with more good vibes. I've been listening for a few months now, and I'm loving going back to the start and listening my way through all the old shows in your back catalog. Man, I used to swear a lot back then. Warning. I also really appreciate the perspective I get in my own life from listening to your other show, 13 Questions. So I wanted to send you a small token of gratitude to say thank you for everything you lads do. May it further the Grimerican cause. I hope I can email you guys in the near future with some cool synchro stories to share or even to drop another book your way. Thanks again for all the great content. Kind regards, John. If it's in brackets, does that mean don't read the last name?
I'm not sure.
I'll just leave it at John. John H. P.S. I've had this book a while and thought you might find it as interesting as I did. And we got a nice postcard here to hang on our wall. Edinburgh Castle. You've probably been there?
Yeah, beautiful place. Unbelievable.
And the book is The Cosmic Serpent, DNA and the Origins of Knowledge, which would fit in great with the Snake Bros. We got some
funny money.
Canadian funny money here.
Some purple and green.
Purple and green. You know that $10 bill was voted the prettiest on the planet. I gave a $10 bill to each of our serpent brothers down in Texas. Said you hang on to that prettiest money in the world. So yeah, this looks like a great book. I have to add it to my stack.
When was it written, do you know?
Let's see.
Every time we get an interesting book now, I want to just automatically have the author on to talk about it.
Whoa. 1995.
Wow.
Published in 1995.
Interesting.
It's probably written in around there. So thank you very much, John. We appreciate that 100%. Keep that for the CCAM bill this month. What do you got here? PNWM Services. I don't know what that means. Hopefully it's not a...
Oh, well, maybe, is it to the Grimerica show, though? Maybe it's something personal.
That says to the Grimerica show.
Okay.
You order personal things under the show monitor?
Yeah, under the P.O. box sometimes.
Oh, yeah, I get that. You must be just using the show when you order stuff off the dark web, like nipple clips.
No, I don't order stuff off the dark web.
Just right off Amazon, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I know what this... Oh, what great timing. I know Whoa.
You know what that is?
I wasn't expecting that.
Little care package for Darren?
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, this must be for upcoming guests there. Yes, I can't believe it came here already. Oh, my
God. It's a bunch of mushrooms.
Yeah. He's got a new business delivering mushrooms. We're going to have him on for an intro. Actually, he's coming on this week, I think.
So I have...
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Wow. This does give me a little penis envy.
Is that what it's called?
It's called penis envy, yep. So that's got to be like a...
It doesn't give me penis envy.
Not above a good dick joke. Never have been. Wow, that's a pretty looking mushroom. That's a one, giant mushroom.
Yeah.
It'll be a quarter. It's at least a quarter.
I wonder if the head's better than the stem?
That head is definitely better than the stem.
Yeah. Contrary to what Michael says.
Contrary to what the Truffaut show might try and tell you. We have some Champignon Magique vanilla bergamot tea. I probably shouldn't drink any of that unless I'm planning on tripping out, I'm assuming.
Yep.
We got some multi-mush microdosed capsules.
Oh, you're opening it already?
What's a capsule? I want to take a look. Oh, look.
Oh, that's a good idea. Wow. All measured out, little capsules.
And then these ones are the Stamets Plus.
Wow. Fantastic. So, yeah, I think we're going to end up having him on for a little intro coming up actually on Wednesday.
Right on. What's his name again?
Better schedule that.
I'll dig it up. Got to say thank you because there's, I guess the name of it's PNWM Services. I'll leave it at that. Maybe we shouldn't say his name. Don't say his name.
Okay.
I take a picture of this mushroom.
You don't have to do it now.
Why not?
Well,
Okay.
it's champignon magique.
This is a great care package. It's going to be hard.
West Coast East. What? West Coast eShop. EA Shop. Tea Shop. westcoastteashop.com.
Desk nameplate, quantity 2.
Darren's like, it's like Christmas for Darren in the studio today.
I've been needing a good desk nameplate.
Another care package for
Another
Darren?
care package.
Jeez, what's going on?
Thank you very much.
What's that one called?
Arbor Week chip samples.
Chips?
It's dirty socks.
Dirty socks.
Leave it at dirty socks. Thank you
Darren's
very much.
got a dirty sock fetish.
I have a dirty sock fetish. Thank you very much. You know who you are. I know who you are, and I love you for it. All right. What else you got?
I got a couple quotes here.
What a great care package day.
Yeah. Fantastic. You want to
Quotes?
yeah, you want to do the jingle or
Yeah. It's like your favorite jingle. Oh, all right. You ready?
Yeah.
It's the profound quote of the week. Darren, can you guess it? It's the profound quote of the week.
Can you guess the human who spoke it or wrote it down?
So this is
Just
from
get
the
a tweet.
Instagram account, The Odd Man Out. We're gonna have him on the show, I think, eventually here. Not sure exactly when.
Word up.
Ready? To be
Yep.
effective, propaganda must constantly short circuit all thought and decision. It must operate on the individual at the level of the unconscious. He must not know that he is being shaped by outside forces, but some central core in him must be reached in order to release the mechanism in the unconscious which will provide the appropriate and expected action. That was from Jacques Ellul, Propaganda, the Formation of Men's Attitudes. And he's got a second quote here. What is needed then is continuous agitation produced artificially, even when nothing in the events of the day justifies or arouses excitement. Therefore, continuing propaganda must slowly create a climate first, and then prevent the individual from noticing a particular propaganda operation in contrast to ordinary daily events.
Contrast 2?
Yeah. I got another funny one here too.
Are those quotes by people or is he making those up?
No, he's got it's just from his account. It's from that Jacques Ellul propaganda book. Here's another one. Breitbart didn't die of a heart attack. Seth Rich didn't die for an attempted robbery. Michael Hastings didn't die because of a car crash. State Senator Schaefer didn't kill herself. Epstein didn't kill himself. And the elite, for the most part, are not eating pizza and hot dogs.
There you have it. What else you got?
I got some more emails, or do you want to get into, I got a whole bunch of, I want to get into that global warming stuff, but maybe we'll do that next episode. Kind of got like a 3-parter on that.
We could probably do that next week.
Okay. Well, actually, we do have that other intro next week.
What intro?
With
2 intro.
the mushroom guy.
That's right.
Yeah. So it's up to you. I could read a synchronicity here.
What do you want to do? You want to do global warming or synchros?
I'll read the synchro here.
All right. I do enjoy a good global warming rant. Don't get me wrong. You guys have been ranting a lot at work lately about your global warming. It's cold as a motherfucker, for the record. That's weather. All right, let's go with the original synchronicity jingle.
I'm a rambling gram with synchronicities all over the web. And Darren is skeptical about everyone and don't believe it yet.
For the intro. Darren and Graham, first off, thank you so much for what you do, for keeping your mind and door wide open to any information or interviews for the betterment of all. I wanted to send a quick note about seeing Neil deGrasse Tyson speak live a couple weeks ago, plus 3 synchronicities related to Grimerica. My partner bought us tickets to see Neil deGrasse Tyson for my birthday. I didn't want to hurt his feelings by telling him I think Tyson is a shill, so I went to the talk with a smile on my face. The talk was about halfway through when my partner leaned over and said he thought the topics he chose to cover seemed pretty strange. First, Tyson talked about why God isn't real and how all religions can be debunked by science. Second, he spoke about why UFOs aren't real. He said if the object is unidentified, then how could it be alien? Third, he laughed off Bigfoot sightings and used scientific thinking to prove his point and ended the Bigfoot topic with, your efforts would be better spent in search of useful evidence than trying to convince people of something you think is true in absence of it. But then the cherry on top was when he spent the longest amount of time, 20 minutes out of the 60 minutes he spoke for, talking about 9/11. Of which I filmed in its entirety. By that point, I was so puzzled by his topics of choice and thought it seemed super strange that he would cover 9/11. I didn't want to miss the opportunity to record it. He spoke about his vantage point of the towers. He displayed a few photos he supposedly took that day, which somehow looked perfect, even though they were blown up to fit a monster-sized screen and would now be 18 years old, but perhaps he had a professional camera. Everything he said felt eerily strategized. His mission was probably to keep all the good little Democrats in their box. All in all, he is entertaining, but in a douchebag kind of way. Let me know if you want me to send you his 20-minute 9/11 talk.
Yes, I would love to see that.
I got it already.
Perfect.
I haven't watched it yet. A few synchronicities. Right now, as I'm literally writing this email and listening to episode number 108 with Crow 777, he just mentioned Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Crow 888 was 108. Oh, yeah, 108 was not. Well, I'm glad he wasn't 108. Continue.
Second synchro, last week I was searching for the original Owl episode, and right when I finally found it, my daughter, she's 4, came up and asked me if we could read her Owl book. And the third synchro, every day at my job, I get the Gary Jules song Mad World stuck in my head. And yesterday, while I was cleaning my house and listening to Grimerica, I was asking my guides to send me a sign that my job is the right place for me right now. And then Mad World started playing on the episode I was listening to. My guides have spoken. Love you both. Thank you again for all your hard work. With gratitude, your loyal listener, Elizabeth.
6.42, 6.42, 7.42.
What an awesome.
I think Elizabeth is in the chats. Someone named Elizabeth came in the chats, and then they scared her off.
Yeah, it could be a bit intimidating sometimes.
Yeah, you just gotta. The best is just show up,
linger around,
shut up, don't say anything, don't engage,
lurk around for a bit.
Yeah, they're gonna.
No, you can engage.
They're gonna try and get you to engage. If you're up for it, fine, but they won't stop. So
you can't keep up with it. Like there's no way that you can keep up with it. So you just gotta go. You just gotta go every once in a while. Just check in.
You think people go back?
Go back. I go back through sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah, all the way to the last thing you missed. Sometimes there's 10,000 messages a day.
I grab memes and stuff that they've been creating for me. Some pretty funny ones in there.
There's some pretty good memes in there.
There's some good cat memes in there the other day.
Ryan is a meme master.
Yeah.
And that dump he did in the meme channel the other day, I think he dumped 100 memes
because I wanted them for Instagram, so I cherry picked some of those.
Everyone's asking.
Figured I should just put our listeners' memes onto Instagram, really. I don't want to repost other people's, but if we make them up.
Yeah, everyone wants a sequel to the Mushroom episode. Would it be a threequel?
Well,
I don't know if I'm up to it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Trying to record in a state like that. And Graham's given up on us.
Yeah, I don't want to chaperone that stuff anymore.
Yeah. Too much for him.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll leave it at that. We'll see what happens.
Okay, I'll save all that other stuff, I guess. I mean, could do it now, but
You want to do it now or at 3?
Sure, I could do it now.
All right.
Okay, so
Is this global warming?
This is yeah, it's kind of global warming. I mean, I gotta share some of why I'm skeptical of this whole fiasco.
We know why you're skeptical.
Well, these are new reasons why.
You're more skeptical than before. He's growing ever more skeptical.
Well, have you heard? Did you see that 11,000? I mean, I wanted to talk about the 11,000 scientists. Did you hear about that? The 11,000
yes,
scientists.
I did with Mickey Mouse and the Dumbledore.
Mickey Mouse and Dumbledore on the list. Like, so they put out all the headlines and all the mainstream media that 11,000 scientists believe that like we're heading towards catastrophe. Like, I can't remember what the exact terms are. You know, because of global warming and because of us. And there's like, I saw, a media company go through the whole list, or not all the Canadian ones. There's a lot of non-scientists in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are they doing putting something out that's so easily debunkable? And then you go through and the guy at work found Dumbledore and Mickey Mouse on the list. Like, what are they doing? Why? It feels like a big troll to me. Like, here, we're going to put out this headline and you can easily go in and debunk it. It's garbage. Like, why do you think we don't trust this whole thing?
Is there any chance it's like a reverse?
That's what I'm saying.
This info?
That's what I'm saying. Like, is it somebody against global warming putting it out because it's so ridiculous? But why would all the headlines grab it? Like, and it's just, anybody could sign up to the thing and say, hey.
People signed in Mickey Mouse.
Yeah. And Dumbledore. Like, what the?
I wonder what other names are on there. Has anyone done a full breakdown of the 11,000?
Well, it's gone now.
Is it?
I think they had to re-edit it or something.
How many names are they down to then?
I don't know. I don't know where it's at right now. I just, this is why they lose credibility.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Credibility shot. As far as I'm concerned, it's all fake. The one with any credibility anymore is Grimerica.
And anyways, I want to also...
No agenda, maybe. Cruise a mistake a little bit.
I also want to go...
Tripoli.
There was an article as well talking about Greta and the
we're not going to pile on Greta, are we? She's just a
the
little
Trudeau
autistic
Foundation.
Kid.
Okay, just get this. Okay?
All right.
Okay, this is another reason why we're skeptical. Greta's press agent, as of May 2019, Daniel Donner. He works for the Office of the European Climate Foundation, which is founded by John H. McCall-McBain. Names sound familiar? John H. McCall-McBain was the Trudeau Foundation's chair of the board. So this is the Trudeau Foundation, right? But there's more. Remember the fiasco over the $928,000 donation to the Trudeau Foundation? That was the McCall-McBain Foundation. The one Greta's press agent works out of. The Trudeau Foundation attracted no foreign donations from 2008 to 2013. About 53,000 in 2014, 428 in 2015, 535 in 2016. According to the charity, the Switzerland-based McCall-McBain Foundation has been responsible for the majority of the increase in foreign donations. McBain, a Canadian businessman, is the founder of McCall-McBain Foundation and chairman of the Trudeau Foundation. McBain is the 75th richest person in Canada, has a net worth of $1.37 billion, according to this Canadian business magazine. So the people who are funding Greta's interference with our economy and election are the same people who donate more money than anyone to the Trudeau Foundation.
We need a Truffaut Foundation.
Do you understand the massive push behind all the climate activism during the election now? This is 100% foreign-funded third-party election interference. Because, that the timing was pretty suspect with Greta being over in Alberta right before the election. Yeah. Not that really made a difference. I don't think it made a difference. I mean, I don't even know if you would consider that, interference in the election. But I'm thinking this charity problem, this foundation problem, is way bigger than we thought. I mean, we've talked about it on and off for years, but I think this is really where our tax money, can go and get funneled back to politicians through other donations. Like, I think it's just this roundabout thing where they go to these NGOs, these foreign foundations, and then it comes back, pay for play type stuff like the Clinton Foundation and these guys. And we got to have somebody on that can deconstruct that a little bit more for us.
All right.
And I got one
Set
more.
it up.
I got one more thing. This is
One more thing?
Yeah.
Anyway, I
This is
just
one I've
feel
been
bad for
promising you.
Greta. She's just a little kid getting programmed. I don't think, all this is not going to end well for poor Greta, I don't think. All the attention and the ocean voyages and the...
Well, especially when we slip into the ice age, which is coming. Like, how's she going to
even
feel like
all
later
that-
on when it gets cold?
All that aside, I just don't
when it keeps
think-
getting colder.
I don't think it's a good to throw a 12-year-old that kind of limelight.
She's
doesn't-
16, Darren.
Is she?
Yeah.
She doesn't look like she's having a good time to me. She doesn't look like she's having a good time. I hope.
I know. I feel totally sorry for her.
Yeah.
I really do.
I don't think it's going to end well for Greta.
No.
I hope I'm wrong.
So here, this is what I've been wanting to talk to you about for a while.
Talk to me.
Yeah. 1966.
I wasn't born yet.
Oil gone in 10 years. 1967. Dire famine forecast by 1975. How many of these predictions came true?
0.
Headline predictions, probably. 1968. Overpopulation will spread worldwide. You remember when that population bomb book came out?
Yeah.
1969. Everyone will disappear in a cloud of blue steam by 1989.
Wait, what?
Yep.
I want to...
Actually, Tony Heller talks
can
about
we
the blue steam
investigate the
cloud,
blue
too.
steam one?
Yeah. 1970, world will use up all its natural resources by 2000. 1970, urban citizens will require gas masks by 1985. Oh, these are all 1970. Nitrogen buildup will make all land unusable. Decaying pollution will kill all the fish. Killer bees. Ice age by 2000. America is subject to water rationing by 74 and food rationing by 1980. 1971, new ice age coming by 2020 or 2030. 1972, new ice age by 2070. Well, geez, that's quite a difference. 1972, the oil will be depleted in 20 years. 1974, space satellites show new ice age coming fast. 1974, another ice age. 76, scientific consensus, planet cooling. Famines imminent.
Faminism.
77,
What's faminism?
Department of Energy says oil will peak in the 90s. 1978, no end in sight to 30-year cooling trend. 1980, acid rain kills life in lakes. 1980, peak oil in 2000. 88, temperatures in D.C. will hit record highs. 88, Maldive Islands will be underwater by 2018. They're not.
They're close.
No, they're not.
They gotta quit selling all that sand.
89, rising sea levels will obliterate nations if nothing done by 2000. 1989, New York City's West Side Highway underwater by 2019. It's not. 96, peak oil in 2020. 2000, children won't know what snow is. 2002, famine in 10 years if we don't give up eating fish, meat, and dairy. Same year, peak oil in 2010. 2004, Britain will be Siberia by 2024. 2005, Manhattan underwater by 2015. 2006, super hurricanes. 2008, Arctic will be ice-free by 2018. 2008, climate genius Al Gore predicts ice-free Arctic by 2013. 2009, climate genius Prince Charles says we have 96 months to save the world. 2009, UK Prime Minister says 50 days to save the planet from catastrophe. That was 10 years ago. 2009, climate genius Al Gore moves 2013 prediction of ice-free Arctic to 2014. 2013, Arctic ice-free by 2015. 2014, only 500 days before climate chaos. 2019, hey Greta, we need you to convince them it's really going to happen this time.
Greta? You think it's gonna happen this time?
No, that was the last post. But that's, again, this is why we're skeptical.
Yes.
Like, I mean, I can't vouch for all those headlines. I've read enough of them myself through the research that we've done.
I want to know more about this blue mist.
Tony Heller talked about it on his last episode. Take a look. The scientists were there was a great.
Can't you give me a rundown?
He did a great episode of The Big Shift. So in the late 70s and the early 80s, this is when it went from freezing to warming,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And the scientists back then in the end of the cooling scare, they were talking about how we could melt the poles to increase the heat. They were like literally thinking about We don't know what it's going to do, but we could start melting the poles.
Really?
Yeah.
That was probably not a good idea.
Probably not.
When are we going to figure out to stop?
Like, why didn't they keep it cool? Why didn't they keep it freezing, though? It would have been so much scarier if they would have said it's freezing.
You think?
Yeah. Because way more people die in the cold than the heat. I mean,
Well, maybe that's why they switched it to warming, because they're like, holy fuck, all these people are going to freeze.
What do you mean?
Well, I think it's going to get cold.
I know that's what I mean, but that's what they should be scaring us on. They should have said
Maybe they want us to
CO2
be
is
scared.
causing freezing.
Maybe they don't want us panicking.
It doesn't
We
seem
just
like
hold
it.
them
I think
off.
they do want us panicking. I mean,
They're not
or
ready.
not that
They're
much
not ready
panicking.
for
They
the
want us in
panic.
a like
Yeah.
just the fear without panic stage.
Yeah. Disarray.
Disarray without panic.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah, maybe.
Sick bastards.
Yeah, maybe.
Sick fascist.
I just don't
bastards.
trust him. No,
I don't trust them as far as I can throw them. I don't trust any of them. I trust you.
I trust you.
All right. And I trust most of the people in the chats. Most of them. There's a couple wild cards. Grimerica.ca/chats. Grimerica.ca/support. Do all the stuff in the show notes. What else? Enjoy the chat.
Yeah, send me emails.
Send
Graham at
emails.
Grimerica.com. Love hearing from people.
If you guys think you can beat today's care package day, I challenge you to try and do it. It's a pretty great care package day over in D-Ron's world. I will be having a lovely remainder of my weekend. Enjoy the chat with, who is this again?
Ashley Veenstra.
Ashley Veenstra.
The
Bigfoot.
Sasquatch Whisperer.
Yeah, Sasquatch Whisperer. We got the Wonton Whisperer. I'll be the Weed Whisperer.
Okay.
All right, guys. Enjoy the show.
All right, we've got a special episode tonight in studio. We've got Ashley Veenstra with us. It's a rare opportunity, so it's nice to have you here. She is a farm girl who spent like 13 years in the fitness industry, and now she's interested in Sasquatch. That's what we're going to be talking about a little bit. Tonight, she does expeditions in the wild, tracking and outdoors type thing locally, kind of around the Rockies, I guess you could say. So welcome to the studio. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
You have to get right up in the mic there.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So I think we should start probably, and I mean, just how, like you said before we started recording, like, you know, you've been in the fitness industry for like 13 years, and then you're leading these expeditions in the wild. You just went on one recently.
Yeah.
And I mean, we have the mountains in our back door, like an hour away. We have these things. So you spend a lot of time in the mountains, and maybe how you got interested in like that whole shift from fitness to that.
Yeah, I spent most of my life pretty much on the outdoors, just being raised on a farm, just north of Airdrie with horses and pretty much everything you think of. However, I got into the fitness industry right after I graduated. So fitness shows after I had my son, Caden. He was 2 years old and started training very competitively for fitness. So 13 years I've been running my business as well as managing gyms and just doing competitive shows. So I've done up 8 fitness shows now. I'm a pro and I do worlds.
Wow.
So just recently I've been doing more media work. So I've been asked to do some tracking out in the wild. So that's kind of what started this whole expedition. Is I was fit, I was strong, I was good with media, and the outdoors. So there was some auditions, obviously, and to see if I could make or break some of these hikes. They're pretty intense hikes we go on. And I mean, you're spending like a week out in the middle of nowhere with no cell phone service, and just in a trailer, fire, like the old camping ways, right?
Yeah.
No electricity. So, I mean, there's not a lot of girls, I think, that would do that. However, they made sure that, you know, Todd made sure applying for this, that I was okay with that. So that's what started the tracking. So we were out in the back and tracking area where there's Sasquatch, and that's what kind of started my whole journey with them.
Wow.
Yeah.
So did you have, were you interested before in that kind of stuff? Or
I've always been interested in anything, I mean, that's foreign that you want to learn about.
Yeah.
I watched numerous documentaries. That's kind of what I watch when I'm off. And Sasquatches has been something I have watched. And so I always say I never say I don't believe things, and I figured that out for myself and have my own opinions on it through watching and educating yourself.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my theory on any topic.
Yeah.
So, I mean, when I went out there, I wasn't expecting to have the results right away like I did have, but yeah, I witnessed the Sasquatch within hours of me even being on the expedition, my very first one. Yeah.
Really? Wow. I didn't tell this is awesome.
How long ago was that?
So that was June.
June of this year?
Yeah.
So you go from like nothing to Sasquatch
just
sighting.
June this
like
year
a few
even.
months
Wow,
ago.
that's crazy.
It was actually my first sighting when I first got there, was probably the most incredible one.
Wow. Cause when did somebody handed me your card?
Yeah.
And that doesn't even seem like, it must have been close to that time even. Like maybe it was July or August or.
So it was in May.
Wow,
Or no, it was June. Yeah, it was June.
Yeah.
Because I was in the hair salon that exact month, and then you contacted me July.
Oh, wow.
So, which was funny because I had that sighting then, and it's just
Everything
been continuous since then. However, so you gave me a call, I think the middle of July. And around that then.
So that was
it was
all pretty fresh still. Wow.
Yeah. So my relationship has definitely grown since then with the Sasquatch.
Yeah.
But my first sighting was pretty incredible. I mean, I was pretty freaked out, obviously.
Really?
The first time I had to witness the Sasquatch.
Yeah.
But it was pretty magical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So was it was it literally scary, or was it just more
scary.
exciting? Yeah, it was scary.
Yeah. They're very spiritual beings. So if you're really a spiritual person, I mean, really in tune with your emotions and your energies, you'll feel.
Yeah.
You'll feel a different kind of, I mean, not just big, scary, black beasts, you know. It's a whole other realm of experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you want to maybe get into that a little bit?
Can you take us through it?
Yeah. So when I got up there, Todd and I had done a few just expeditions around the lower mainland. So that was, you know, around Banff area as well as Golden, just doing some tracking. We were, you know, preparing me for up in Radium. So I got there the first night, and the trailer was already set up there. So Todd went and met me down halfway in the mountain, and we drove up. When we first got there, we started a fire. So we were just, you know, standing around the fire, and Todd was kind of telling some stories about some of his expeditions. And when he was talking, I could hear the fire crackling. I could hear him talking. And then I could hear like this howling noise. And I thought it was wolves howling. So I just had to stop him. I'm like, I'm sorry, but do you hear that? I said to Todd, like, there's something like howling. And here I am a little bit already freaked out that we're in the middle of, like, I'm talking in the middle of nowhere.
But with a bunch of people you just met too. I mean, there's probably a bit of weirdness there.
Oh,
it's just the two of
It's
you.
only me and Todd up there. Yeah. We were only up there for 2 nights just to see how I'd do up there.
Yeah.
Right. And we had a TV show coming, I think 3 weeks from then. Yeah. So we had to set up our camp and everything. Right. So we're kind of preparing for that. However, we're up there, and I'm hearing this howling going on, and I'm like, okay, this must be a bunch of wolves. Like, I don't know what's up here. So, hear this howling, and it's like the howl sounded in between, like a gorilla call and like straight wolves howling.
Was it like that whoop whoop, like that typical Sasquatch kind of whoop?
It was
or?
like it was like the whooping with an actual howl.
Right.
But there was one howl on one side of the mountain. I call it, we've named the mountains now. It's one Spirit Mountain we've called, and the other mountain we call Sasquatch Mountain. And so there was a large male on the one, and he was higher up, and the other he was calling down to the other mountain, which was lower down. And I said it either sounded like a female or a young male or something, is what we figured out in the end. But it was pretty weird. It was going on for for a while, like 10, 15 minutes, the howling.
Wow.
Back and forth. So I was more freaked out of, bears and cougars and everything's up there.
Yeah.
However, I'm just like, oh dear, what am I getting myself into here?
Yeah.
Now we have Sasquatch calling out.
Because you could tell that it wasn't wolves. Like you could tell that it wasn't.
Yeah. Like like I said, it was sounding between a gorilla and a wolf.
Yeah.
So I was just like, oh, and Todd says, oh, Todd's so experienced in Sasquatch. So he's heard that before. He says, oh, that's a Sasquatch call. I'm like, oh, wonderful. They know I'm here now.
Yeah.
So he says it was the first time he's come out this summer. So he thinks that they were calling, letting them know that Todd's there.
Yeah.
Right. So, and it was pretty cold still. Like it was the middle of June.
Yeah.
It was freezing.
Yeah.
So that's what he thinks, that they were just calling, just saying, hey, there's people here, and announcing that. So I got kind of freaked out about that, but then I decided to go to bed. So we went to bed about an hour later, probably. And I slept in the back of the trailer. So it's kind of important to know where we sleep in the trailer, because that's the whole summer. They're kind of around the trailer a lot. So the back, we have 2 bunk beds in the back, and there's the windows in the beds. So the Sasquatch were continuously around the back of that trailer. And we have dents in the trailer. We have handprints we've had left in the trailer. Like they're just around that trailer a lot when we're sleeping. Todd sleeps in the front of the trailer, and there's windows around that side of the trailer as well. So there's no curtains on the windows. So it's pretty much open for them just to literally peek inside and see us. So that's the other freaky thing too. Yes. And it's an older trailer, right? So we're in the trailer, and I'm going to bed on the bottom bunk. And when I first noticed that my energy was really restless, I couldn't just sleep.
Yeah.
So that was kind of weird to me, but I just thought, oh, maybe I'm tired or whatever, having troubles resting my head. However, the Sasquatch, I did go to sleep, and the Sasquatch, which I figured out later on, because I'd never seen one in my life, but Todd had told me how big that they can be the next day, was around the back of the trailer. So I was sleeping and made a yipping call. He went, ee, and then he popped around the side of the trailer, and immediately I just woke up. And then I just looked in my window, and there was just boop, there was just this little face of a Sasquatch.
No way.
Yeah. And so Todd had to explain to me that their heads can be long, their heads can be round. It depends on the age, how tall they can be. So he kind of educated me on that. However, he was out sleeping because he had a cold, so he took some cough medicine. So I'm screaming in the trailer like, Todd, what the hell is in my freaking window here? Right? So I'm freaked out. I was underneath the blankets, so I went to go click my flashlight. When I clicked my flashlight, I seen the thing looking in the trailer, and then it was moved its heads from looking at my hand and me. You could see him staring here to just staring here now.
You looked for it because you moved your hand, and he went to the, wow.
Yeah. And so I'm like, holy shit. I don't know if this thing's going to blow through this window. I don't know what it's going to do.
Yeah.
So I just freaked out and just sat there. When I sat there under my sleeping bag, I was kind of pulling my sleeping bag over my face, and my heart was pounding through my chest. I was biggest adrenaline rush that you would get. It was like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the adrenaline, when I just realized it was just standing there, just kind of went down. And I'm just I think this thing's just it's just staring there. It's going to do nothing. So he literally sat there for a minute or two.
Yeah.
And just stared in the trailer.
Wow.
Yeah. And then he was just gone. And then I had a feeling it was going to go look in Todd's window too. So it was so funny. The next day when Todd got up, I was like yelling at him to not go out of the trailer because there's going to be footprints, there's going to be handprints, there's going to be something out there that I didn't want him to walk through. So he didn't believe me when I first told him that a Sasquatch popped in my window. He's like looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, no, I'm literally telling you, I seen a Sasquatch, which I think is a Sasquatch, in my window.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like, because I'm thinking like a bear would be scratching at the window, a bear would be walking around the camp, you know, like sniffing for food, you know, like what would just stand and stare in the window
for a minute or two. Yeah. And you can tell the
Right?
face,
Like-
like the face, it wasn't like an animal face,
yeah,
right?
and
It
like
was-
just like it's like they're like beings, right? Like people tried to say that they're like animals or you know, whatever
Like
they whatever they
primates or whatever, yeah.
primates is a
Yeah.
big one that people
yeah.
talk about and relate them to, and they're nothing of that kind. They're absolutely beings.
Yeah.
And I think that's what also calmed me when it was in the window, was I was kind of like, okay, this is like they're more like humans.
Yeah.
Right? They like for it to be staring through the window and then all of a sudden staring at me, a bear would just be clobbering at the window.
Yeah.
Right? Or whatever bears would do, sniffing around the trailer and
Yeah.
you
And,
know,
and that's what you
so-
hear with people that are trying to shoot it or about to shoot it. And they look
Yeah.
at the thing in the eye and they realize like it's not a monster. It's more human
It's
than
more human, yeah.
than animal kind of thing.
And that's exactly
And then they can't
it.
even pull the trigger or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've heard those stories too. And
Yeah.
like it just has this like connection where it's more like us. So
Yeah.
I think that's where my adrenaline, you know, if it was a bear, my adrenaline would have stayed high.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like, okay, what the heck is this thing doing around my window?
Yeah.
Right? However, my adrenaline went up all the way and then just kind of just calmed all of a
Yeah.
sudden. It was kind of a strange, like first energy bumping.
Yeah.
So that happened the first night. So when we went out of the trailer the next day, Todd said, "Holy crap, there's handprints on the trailer. There's Sasquatch. We found a Sasquatch footprint. We found handprints on the trailer. These big, massive handprints on both windows, like it was peeking in."
You think it
And-
woke you up with the yippee? Like, do you think it meant to like go
Yeah.
by and kind of yip and wake you up and then?
Yeah, and so this is something that continuously was happening, and the fact that it woke me up the first night, I think that they test boundaries on your intelligence and your intuition with the species, because some people would be dead dog asleep. Like I'm telling you, a lot of nights, he's a pretty heavy sleeper. He sleeps through some of this stuff. I'm like, how can't you hear some of the stuff
Yeah.
that goes out there? And he claims I have really good hearing. And I'm like, I don't even know. These things are loud as heck sometimes, right? When they run. And so I think it's just, they just test your intuition too, right? With like, can they hear this? Can they hear this? Because
Right.
they're trying to be sneaky around you.
Yeah.
But they also like to test you
Yeah.
on what you can hear, what you can feel, what, you know, you seem to be more connected to people that are spiritual. So that whole area goes a long way too. But that was the first night. So Todd said, you know, like, it's pretty special to see a Sasquatch coming out your first night. Like some people look their whole life, research these guys, and they don't
Yeah,
they
that's
don't ever
amazing.
encounter one.
Yeah, I didn't even realize
So-
actually before we even got you on the show, I didn't even realize
Yeah.
that you had that first sighting. So that's fantastic.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Jason. Like Jason goes out and with the trailer, he's had them around the trailer, like pushing the trailer back and forth and and doing some crazy shit to the trailer.
Yeah.
And he heard things inside the trailer even.
Yeah.
Like it was crazy.
So that's probably them not wanting him there on their land.
Wow.
Yeah.
Get lost, you're causing
He's
problems.
not going to want to hear
Yeah.
that.
No,
is
he's-
he? You know,
Give him some mushrooms. You throw some mushrooms out.
Yeah.
They'll come around.
Because they just feel like he's trespassing and then he's on their property.
Wow.
Yeah. So you have to be very, very grateful.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, you know, like they're also very sensitive. You hear lots of stories about it too. But even in my case, to females and children. And then people always said why, but it's, you know, when they see men, like there's a mining area around where we are and logging area. So they see men ripping down forests. They see men mining and ripping down, you know, their mountains, you know, very destructive.
Yeah.
They're very hard, you know, men are very big, strong men. And then you see females, they see females very delicate, caring, right, nurturing. So I think that they kind of, have a different kind of connection to women and to males.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what did Todd think the next day when you guys got out and you started finding those handprints and the footprints?
Oh, we taped them up too.
Yeah.
We taped them up, and we put a bag over the footprint, but the footprints, like they can be all different sizes.
Mm-hmm.
This one was a smaller one. So it was a young male.
Yeah.
And I mean, his head was rounder. So it's a young male. And his height, we were trying to figure out the height, but I mean, like that window was so low.
Yeah,
so
they could be bending over or whatever.
crouching.
Yeah,
He kind of moved into the window, right? Or crouching, whatever. But later I had another sighting where he was, and I mean, we have night monoculars, so I would watch them all the time in the summer and on the night monoculars in the trees. But the one that I think follows me around, we call him Chester. He's got a name. He's a brown Sasquatch.
That's awesome.
And we think he's like young. We don't really know the ages on them or anything like that, but he's shorter, he's smaller. We think he's 7 to 8 feet tall. I know they can get up to 10 feet tall or taller.
Yeah.
And they can be heavier, bigger builds, right? I mean, when they get bigger, their jaw lines build out, so their head kind of pops up more. When they're younger, they're rounder heads. So he's still in the in-between stages, right? Yeah. And I think that I have like a lot of energy, right? I'm pretty young at heart. When I'm hiking around the mountain, I'm pretty goofy. But I think they think I'm younger than I am. Yeah. So Todd thinks that all the young ones are chasing me. So I'm like, wonderful.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, no, that we think they're young males.
Yeah.
Yep.
So when you say looking through the monocular into the trees, do you mean like not up in the trees, but through the trees? Like you can see.
Yeah, it depends where they are. Like standing in the trees. They do climb trees. I've had them climb trees and stare into the trailer at me.
Wow.
Sleeping. And when the sun comes up in the morning, I kind of set my alarm to a certain time so I can see them in the daylight. Like it's 6, 7 in the morning where you can physically see them outside the trailer.
Wow. And
I've seen Chester, the brown one, was in the tree, and like he's seen me see him, and
really?
He hit the bottom.
Really?
Like when those guys go down trees,
wow,
they're fast. Yeah. Yeah, and we tried to distance the tree. The tree was so far away. It was across the creek from our campsite. And the trees that we went over there, they were all bare, like no branches on them at all.
So they just hang out in the bare tree, like just hugging onto it or whatever?
Yeah, because the bottoms of their hands are like their feet.
Yeah.
Right? So they can just grip onto them.
Wow.
Yeah. So when they just sit up there in a tree. Yeah, and I mean with the monocular, we can see them doing it at nighttime. However, it's different when you see it during the daytime, when the sun's coming up and you can see him physically there in the tree.
Wow!
It's pretty amazing, yeah.
So when you guys have that camping spot there, like when you went to that one recently, I think is that where you went as well? Like I can't remember if it was September or whatever. It was when it started to snow there. I mean, probably the weather.
Yeah, it was actually really nice up top.
Really? Yeah.
And down below in the city in Radium, it was really cold.
Yeah.
Like way worse weather. But no, that was a good trip. It was really quiet up there. So the summer it gets all the hikers, right? And all the parks guys are up there. So it gets to be a little bit, they hide a little bit more.
Right.
And so it's pretty crazy in the fall.
So you go up, like when you do your expedition, so you've got your home, is that like kind of your home base kind of thing? And then you do hikes from there?
Yeah, we go all over.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we can camp all over too, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's just the bears are pretty bad up there is our biggest concern. So we have to bring bear spray and all that. They're pretty good bears in that area. But, I mean...
You never know. You
just takes one bad apple.
Exactly.
One bad egg.
Like that one week I went, I seen 7 bears.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. 7 bears. Like some days were 2 bears a day.
Wow.
Right? And so I was like, oh my gosh.
Like grizzlies or brown or?
We seen I seen one massive grizzly and he did charge at us.
Really?
Yeah. It was the scariest thing ever.
I'd like to get some Sasquatch fingerprints.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like it matches some liquor store robbery from back in the day.
So what happened when the bear chased you? Like
that was super crazy. So
Did you zigzag like they say this?
no, we were actually walking down a trail and it went down to the creek. And then our trail was going out of the creek. The bear was on the other side of it was the river and a creek kind of collides, the river and the creek there. And I was going to stop to fill up my water bottle. And something just like, just keep going, right? If I would have stopped to fill up my water bottle, we would have been eye to eye with that bear down in the creek, and he probably would have charged right at us.
Wow.
So the fact that I had higher ground because we were climbing out of that creek area, and we seen the grizzly bear, and we didn't even hear her. We didn't see her. And until she started pumping the ground and being like, she flew out of some trees, and we were just like, where did this bear come from? How didn't we see her?
Yeah.
Like we're in the most open area. And that was another reason why I tried to kind of scurry through there, was because it was an open area. And I thought, we'd see something coming down, but she was coming the opposite way as us.
Yeah.
So she popped out of these big trees. So I keep saying she, but I think she was a female. She was just massive. So she was coming down, and then we were climbing up. Like the timing was just in seconds, right? And then she just started hitting the ground at us. And we just locked eyes at her, and I jumped, and Daniel jumped, and we're like, holy. And we just waved our hands, and she ran the other way.
Wow, thank God, yeah.
Yeah, and so we didn't even have to get anything else out to use. However, I was wondering if she was going to run around and start stalking us on the trail. I mean, it's like now we're 3 weeks away from them hibernating, and she's packing on weight. So I'm like, okay, well, let's get going now.
Wow. But see, it's interesting how you see 7 bears in Sasquatch, and you can tell the difference, right? I mean, it drives me nuts when people think, even Rogan, like, the bears, people can't. Come on. No. People can tell the difference between a bear and a Sasquatch.
Not all people.
Come on. Everybody can.
Yeah. Like Sasquatch are very tall. Like we see tons of black bears there.
Yeah.
And we always call them road bears. They're always on the road. I think the grizzlies push them out of the big mountains. But they're always along the road, running around, chasing the deer, whatever they're doing. But they're so skittish of people, they run. Yeah. As soon as they seen you, they run. The second you drive by them, they're already up the mountain, They're very fast. And the difference between Sasquatch and bears is you can hear a Sasquatch coming from a mile away. A bear, they would sneak up right on you. Like that grizzly bear was huge, and we didn't hear it. We didn't see it. And he just popped out of those trees, And even her like stomping the ground at us was like, never want to piss off a Sasquatch.
Yeah. So
did you get mad? Do Sasquatches get mad?
They can get very mad, yes.
Do you think they fight with bears?
They would dominate bears.
Yeah?
Yeah. They're the alpha.
They might have we'd have a pet dog. They might have a pet bear. Maybe they're getting the bear after you to get you out of there.
Yeah, the bears are definitely scared of them. The other thing is we do think that they follow us around the mountain. So something inside me was like, is there something behind me where the bear didn't chase me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
chase
us. Yeah.
Like, is there something behind
you guys are waving your hands. Meanwhile, the Sasquatch is going, stop it.
So that's another interesting thing that we'll never know, but they do follow us around the mountain. And you can hear them. You can hear them fumbling around, and they rock clack. They communicate with you, let us know, because I have obviously developed a friendship with them. So they rock clack and
they knock trees and stuff too. Tree knocking.
They mostly rock clack, but yeah.
What did you guys hear when you went out that night?
I just scared a cow. I scared a cow. I accidentally separated the one cow away from the herd, and it went running off into the woods. And then it was just like,
no, I thought you heard a sound. You said you heard some weird sounds.
Well, I thought it was a twig snapping. But Jason gets excited. I love you, Jason. I love you, buddy, but you get a little excited out there. Because I heard just like a branch. And I was like, oh, what's that? Thinking maybe it's an animal or something. But
well, which it probably is.
It probably is.
A twig snap.
Jay got he texted me the next day. He's like, man, we should have just reflected on that and meditated on it a little bit. And I was like, I was mostly just enjoying the snow, and I heard a twig snap, and I was mostly thinking hey, I hope that's not a bear, because I got some mushrooms in me and I don't know how fast I can run.
I don't know if we
Yeah.
heard when we were staying in that cabin. No, it wasn't really a cabin. It was a cookhouse or whatever, in a camp
Okay.
spot. And I heard in the middle of the night, I heard some banging, like some pretty loud banging. But like by the time you wake up and listening for it, then
Yeah.
it wouldn't come again. And I was like, is that so? There's got to be something out there. But
Yeah.
it's so hard to know when you just wake up from a sound, you know?
But like that's yeah, I don't know. Listen to your intuition.
Yeah.
That's the biggest lesson I've learned this
It's
summer.
hard when you're scared shitless. Like,
Yeah.
like what is that?
That's
You know,
exactly
like,
that's
it's like-
exactly it. It's a bear.
Yeah. So how do you learn so much about them then? From them directly? Like, do you get
Yeah.
like mind speak kind of thing? Or
So the biggest thing, right? I was really scared for the first 2 months. Like I was almost gonna fold in this research stuff. It scared me so much.
really?
Just because they were coming around so much, and then when I was sleeping, they were starting to tap into my energy, like dreams.
Really?
And there was another expeditioner who had this like nightmares. They try and scare you, and I don't know if it's they want you off the mountain or. I had contacted another lady who told me that they try to. It's like ego. They try and drive your ego down and ground you more. I don't know, but anyways, I had a terrifying dream that a Sasquatch was dragging me through the top of my sleeping bag out of the trailer, and it felt extremely real. Right. And I could feel the strength of it, and it was petrifying. So he had a dream that this is a whole other expedition that the Sasquatch actually reached in and was grabbing him through the window and pulling him through the window.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like and I've heard of people having dreams after they see Sasquatches a lot. It's a common thing. However, my dreams started to get, like it started to revolve more about my life. So they're healers. So anything and I've been going through a really long drawn out divorce. So there's been lots of healing going on this summer with me, and they're healers and teachers, and they're said to be top of the shamans, and I truly believe that now.
Wow.
So yeah, and there's a lot of things that have happened through my dreams where they show me things that they know. Like I cut my finger one night by the fire, and then there was a dream when they were showing me a knife. Like they knew that I cut my finger. It was with my knife, my pocket knife. I was just cutting open a tea bag or something. I don't even know what it was, a soup or something like that. And I cut my finger pretty bad. And they had showed me that, they knew I cut my finger in the dream. It was really weird. There was a lot of like just weird things like that where I was just like, I don't understand why I'm having these dreams. And then they were just trying to make me more intuitive and ground you. Yeah, it was weird. So I think they were trying to get me to trust them, and we're not so scary, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of kind of different things going on that way. And then after I just got it out of my head that they weren't gonna, I really had a fear that they were gonna steal me.
Yeah.
Steal me from the site and take me to the top of the mountain. I've been told that they do that to females, but I don't believe it. They're really respectful beings. However, it took a few months for me to get that in my head, because there were such large beings that I was really petrified of that.
Yeah.
And then once I built that trust up, that idea was gone. Then it's been a little bit, I've been able to enjoy my time out there a bit better.
So it shifted from like the scary dreams of getting dragged out of the trailer to like healing and
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And I don't know if they do that to defend themselves because they think people are going to hurt them, or what it is. Like I don't really know what those dreams are about.
Or it could be again testing boundaries and stuff. Maybe how you react to it.
How
maybe
committed
like
are you to being out here and getting to know us, right? And Daniel had the same dream as me. It was weird, and he was the one that returned back on that expedition with me on the end of September. And yeah, it was so.
It can probably sense your energy even, or read
Yeah.
your thoughts. I mean, if you're out there in the woods and you're an
I'm not going to be seeing
intelligent
any
being,
Bigfoots.
and you're an
Yeah.
intelligent being, like, and you don't have
Yeah.
all this technology, all this distraction, and like you say, they're top of the shamans,
Yeah.
and maybe they could just sense it all, right?
Yeah.
And just tap right in, like you said.
Exactly, kind of like our psychics and shamans on
Yeah.
down here. Like,
Yeah.
I believe we can all be like that if we practice.
Yeah.
And the lesson is they live out in the wild. They don't have fire.
Yeah.
They're surviving. They're this spiritual. We can be like that too. So I've learned a lot of spiritualism this summer.
Geez, it's been a
lot.
crash course in a lot of stuff for you
Yeah,
over
a
the last few
lot.
months. Yeah.
Just incredible amounts of work, and just I've been up there. I just love it up there. It's like beautiful. It's heaven. I always say it's like just the most rivers and creeks, and like it's like the most beautiful place that you could be. That's where
Wow.
they live.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how are they also communicating like telepathically to you, or is it just through intuition and dreams
no.
and stuff? Like,
I'm not very telepathic.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's only dreams.
yeah,
Yeah, a lot of dreams. I write a lot of them down and try and figure
That's a good
them
idea.
out what
Yeah.
they mean. And a lot of them has been like, like just weird situations, like almost reliving it. And then just, you're just closing the books on it and just in your past. It's been just a complete sense of healing for myself. And I think they're also trying to teach me. I'm supposed to also be a teacher. So
have you
it's different.
have you experienced any lucid dreams with them at all? Like, have you ever had a lucid dream? Do you know what that is?
No.
Like, if you're aware, like if you're in
Yeah.
your dream, you're aware you're dreaming, you can start controlling it and all that.
Yes.
And it's helpful to
Like
write
you're
them
more
all
aware.
down, and
Yeah.
yeah, like you can say, "Oh,
These
I
dreams-
am dreaming." Like you wake up inside your
Yeah.
dream and say, "I'm dreaming," and then you can do whatever you want in there. Really, I mean, or you can just go with it. I mean,
Yeah, I know what you mean. These dreams feel a lot more vivid than my regular dreams.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because I'm more connected to myself or what, but they feel more, I guess I just feel more present.
Yeah.
Is what I'm trying to say.
yeah, maybe that is
Mhm.
a lucid. I mean, I don't think lucid dreaming is always like people waking up in their dream and having to do something different. Like it could be just being more aware and just going with the dream.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times, if
I think you just
If
have to
I'm
know you're
lucid-
dreaming.
yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
because some people are really
Technically.
good at but I think they're just more intuitive. Like my
Yeah.
girlfriend's really spiritual
Yeah.
and she's very aware in her dreams.
yeah,
A lot of my dreams freak out when I see things.
yeah,
Like that grizzly bear that was presented to me that day was my totem animal, like my spirit animal, and the Sasquatch I think were presenting it to me, which is a really strange thing. But I mean, I seen 6 bears and then I wasn't cluing into it, and then I seen the 7th bear and it charged at me and then ran away. It didn't show its teeth or anything. It just charged at me, and then I was like, that was just weird. And it was my biggest fear. I said it out in the wild that I would have was to run into a grizzly bear, and it happened the last week I was out there.
yeah,
It also represents grizzly bear like being welcome into a big group or clan, and your spirit animal is also supposed to represent something that you're actually scared of.
wow,
You overcome a lot of fears. So that was pretty much it for me. So I think there's a lot of lessons behind the grizzly bear totem for me. So that was really unusual.
What about the no fire thing? Like,
the no fire
that's
thing?
interesting.
Yeah.
We were kind of chatting about before we started recording.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if
Did you
I'm
know-
so spiritually dense that this is why I don't remember my dreams.
Yeah, because in your dreams, but then in my dream, that night I asked out loud what the grizzly bear meant, because it was just stuck. I was just stuck in my head, and I knew it was supposed to mean, like, I was like, where did that come from? Like, we didn't even see that bear. We see all the other bears like coming from some angle, and we're out hiking, and it's just dead quiet where we are. So it was just weird for me, and so I asked out loud, and then that night I had a dream about a grizzly bear and 2 cubs with her grazing in a meadow. So it was at peace. And I think I was supposed to be the female grizzly bear. And my son is obviously, one of the cubs.
Yeah.
And maybe I'm supposed to have another kid. Who knows?
Yeah. Interesting.
But I think that but in my dream, I was actually scared. I was like, oh my God, there's a bear. And Kaden was with me in that dream, which was the funny thing. And, but yeah, like then I thought about it again. I'm like, I think that's my spirit animal. They're trying to explain that to me, tell me, without me freaking out.
Well, maybe you got to lay off the weed a little bit. You'll dream more. They say that. I mean, if you take a week off and see what happens to your dream. Man.
This was my assumption that it was the weed, but now I'm wondering if it's a lack of spirituality. I think I'm pretty spiritual, though.
The other thing
kind of.
Yeah, like the other thing
you've changed quite a bit in the
was,
last couple of years, really. But
it's hard to be spiritual in the city because we're surrounded by so much. We call it the concrete jungle out here, right?
Yeah.
You know, like out there where I'm surrounded by the 4 elements, and the 4 elements is something that's supposed to be really, you're supposed to be more intuitive, more spiritual, more grounded. So we're right by the creek, which is water, wind, fire, air.
Yeah.
And, right. So it's like, that's supposed to really represent something. And it's, yeah. So.
But yet for Sasquatch, fire is.
It's sun.
They rejected it, right?
Sun.
Oh, yeah,
sun.
Yeah.
Because we're in the sun all day.
Yeah.
But I do stand around the fire at nighttime every night, and they're in the trees around me. So they're not necessarily by the fire, but they're around in the trees. But they,
did you say something like they rejected it though?
They don't use fire.
Yeah.
And they're told not to go, like I've been told by others that they're not supposed to go close to fire.
Right.
People that also know Sasquatch, and it's forbidden.
Right.
I mean, once we the
natives know this, right? They know that the Sasquatch, but the natives went with fire, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, it's because we don't want Sasquatch roaming around snatching up our women. That's it.
Well, they like the dark-haired, dark-eyed girls.
That's right. This is the way all.
Yeah. So, but no, like as soon as the natives say they accepted fire, right? They were told there was going to be consequences to that, and like we now have technology. You know, I mean, it wasn't just survival. We're not just surviving anymore.
Yeah,
we've come to the point where technology's just
taken over.
Yeah. And I mean, the Sasquatch didn't accept fire, and they are out there surviving still.
Yeah.
And they're more intuitive than us. They're more spiritual.
Yeah.
There's things that they can do that we should be able to do, I feel like
pop in and out of dimensions. Or?
I don't know if they can do that, but who knows?
Supposedly, I mean, you know, people see them disappear right in front of them all the time, and there's all those stories of, you know, you never know. People that try and shoot them, and I mean, I don't know, maybe there's a biolocation type thing. I mean, you heard the monks and stuff done it if they've meditated enough. There's humans that apparently can do stuff like that. You know,
I've read
with
an
work,
article that they're connected with the star beings. So, I mean, if you're spiritual, I feel like we could be connected with the star beings.
Yeah,
I feel like, like technology is the only thing that's dividing us to be this spiritual.
Yeah.
It's just a distraction from what we can do.
That seems like
right?
It's definitely a distraction. It's
because we have no technology working out there. When we have our cameras around our necks, the Sasquatch are very quiet in the trees. When we have our cameras off by the fire at night and it's dark, I mean, they're just wild around us.
Wow.
So we can hear them, see them in night vision binoculars, and it's different. And I was always so boggled, like, why can't I see them during the day? They've got to be around. And it was the cameras. They can feel the vibration of the camera, the technology, and they just stay away because they know it's bad.
That explains why they probably sense the trail cams and stuff too, right? Like if you just leave cameras around.
Because we left trail cams around the trailer where they're just nuts, and we could hear them all night. And we're like, oh, it's got to be good. And then we pull out the trail cam, and it's just, there's nothing on it. It goes off, and then the Sasquatch is gone. And there's footage of a tree, right? There's nothing there. But like, they can definitely sense that stuff. They're not stupid.
Yeah.
I think they're way more intelligent than us. You know, like we're like, oh, and they can hear better and see better, right? But, you know, we hear a stick break, and it's probably like so far away that it's actually breaking, right? Because they're so strong.
Yeah.
Same thing with vision. Like the fact that
guy's up in a tree,
the
looking
tree
at you from so far away, right?
That I seen at nighttime, and then when I seen it in the morning, I'm like, that is so far away. And then when we went, like it's across a whole river, you know, a creek bed river. So it's like we go over there and it's like, holy, like these guys they can see that far. Like I have to look in a monocular to see that far.
Yeah.
So that's pretty intense.
So do you think there's an interdimensional like aspect to them possibly, or like what about portals and like them shifting in and out, or like have you guys explored
I've
heard about those kind of things?
Don't know how detailed to get some of this stuff, but I do believe in the portals.
Yeah.
I mean, if you watch some of the Gaia videos, humans are using portals to go into the inner earth or to transport to other places. I mean, if you're that spiritual,
who knows?
Why are the Sasquatch not using that, right?
Yeah.
So
I want to meditate to the point I can teleport. Teleporting could come in handy, I'm telling you.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is, you know, well, yeah, I think so. I think that they can do it, but yeah.
But it sounds like there's a message of like healing and love overall, though, right?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, they really see what's going on. They know what's going on in their planet. The vibration is not very high right now in the earth, and there's a lot of fighting. There's a lot of, I mean, wars with people and this and fighting and power, wars over power and money, and they're not stupid.
Yeah.
They know what's going on. They've been here longer than we've been here.
Yeah.
They've survived some of the things that's happened in previous lifetimes. They know what's coming. So they just I think they're trying to heal and teach us to help the vibration of our planet. So
you think like how much do you think your 13 years in like fitness, like hardcore fitness, right? Not just like all the self-discipline, all the health and wellness that you were exposed to. Like, do you think, I feel like that might've like primed you for this or brought you to a new perspective. I mean, like just to be healthy, like physically like that also, I think helps with,
it does.
I mean, especially when
definitely with mindset and if nothing else, like doing all that exercise every day quiets your mind or just the same as meditating or.
Well, the biggest thing is there's a few different worlds in the fitness industry. It's it can be very materialistic,
right?
And it can also be like you really want to get to the bottom of health and wellness. I've always coached my mind to be pretty. I'm pretty spiritual. I've always been pretty spiritual. I've always done healing. I've always done Reiki. I have a shaman instructor. I have a life coach. I have coaches all over that help me with some of the stuff I work on just to be healthy.
Yeah.
So I think that's what's led me to this. Is that part of my health and fitness?
Right.
I have my shaman I'm going to see on Sunday with my son. So she's actually helped me with a lot of the communication gaps that I'm not getting with the Sasquatch that I'm trying to get.
Yeah.
I feel like there's supposed to be something I do that helps the planet on the road I'm going now. I mean, you have to be physically fit is one thing, yes, but I mean, mentally and spiritually, I think is a whole other thing.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But there's that whole crossover, like we talked about before we started recording too, like so many of the things that we talk about on this show and like whether it's like Sasquatch or spirituality or health and fitness and all, there's a lot of overlaps in what we have to discern as being helpful or healthy, like being in the fitness industry too, and just having to realize like there's all these chemicals out there and bad foods and like, and like, medication or what, like all these things that
and I'm also very holistic. I don't really believe in the Western medicine. I only do like herbs and I only do like CBDs and stuff. Like I only take vitamins I need to take when I know the vitamins to take when I need to take them.
Yeah. Was that hard though, being in that materialistic fitness industry to go hard. Like I could see how there would be a couple different paths, right?
Yeah, it is really hard to be in that world. I actually tried to deviate myself away from some of the materialistic
influence.
Influence and just kind of do my own thing and be my own person. I mean, I always say there's never any right or wrong with fitness. It's just what works for that person. I always try and also coach my clients that, because a lot of people are saying this is right, this is wrong, this is right with different coaches.
And
it's just ridiculous.
And how do you even keep up on the science behind it, right?
I think it's ridiculous because every body's different, every person's different, every illness is different, every whatever
Yeah.
So I just think that the biggest thing I tell my clients is to keep things simple. Right? Exercise, it doesn't have to be going to the gym. It could be outside hiking. It could be joining sports, eat healthy. Don't go on a diet, just eat healthy, eat clean, eat vegetables, eat proteins, eat, it doesn't have to be meat if you don't want it to be meat. Like, just like everyone's going to have their different opinions, but just keep things simple, right? Like, you go to the grocery store, it's overwhelming to go grocery shopping because our grocery stores are like a shopping mall.
Well, you got to stay in the whole center section of the thing.
Exactly. And then, when I go to the mountains, it's like I could survive on the mountain without having to go to a grocery store. I could eat berries. I could eat the fish. And like, this is limited, but people are like, oh, we don't have enough food out here. We have tons of food. Like,
plus, do we need do you even need that much? Like 3 meals a day, even? I mean, isn't there the intermittent fasting and the snake diet or all these things where people are just eating like one meal a day, just one big meal a day? Like,
I'm all over the 1 meal a day. The problem is then I get into the grazing till like bedtime, and that's not a good habit.
Well, that's not the point. Is you're just defeating the whole purpose of that intermittent fast, is so you don't trigger your body by snacking on little things or
Well, really, if you guys think about it, like the Sasquatch can weigh over 1,000 pounds, and these are big guys.
Are they herbivores?
We predict they eat a lot of leaves, vegetables, berries, rabbits, deers, elk.
So they do eat different, rabbits, yeah.
We actually think they herd.
You said deer after rabbit.
Deer,
okay.
We actually think they herd their own deer around the mountains too.
Wow, really?
I seen a video of a rabbit eating a rabbit, and that shit ruined my whole paradigm.
Oh my God.
It was just awful. But when I was a paper boy back in the day, this was like back.
I've never heard a paperboy story from you.
I was an excellent.
I never knew you were a paperboy.
Between me and my cousin, God rest his soul, we had the whole town. So I had like the one half of the town, and he had the other half of the town, which is okay till one of us went on vacation, and then the other guy had to cover for him. So now you got to deliver the papers to the whole fucking town. Anyway, this is back in the day when everyone had the tube televisions. Oh, and I used to always be able to tell if the TV was on when I was walking up to these houses, because there was this weird, like, high-pitched sort of humming sound. And I remember, like, even asking my friends, I was like, I can hear the TV. And they're like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? But I could always just, like, feel this. I could tell if the TV, and every fucking time I'd go downstairs and the TV would be on.
Wow.
Or wherever I was, the TV would be on. And it's like this, and I could always sort of, I can't do it anymore in the new TVs. But
maybe because you're also just surrounded by it constantly.
Maybe it's the weed too, right?
You like dulling your senses. You're dulling your senses.
See,
I cut back quite a bit after the DMT.
Listening to your intuitions more, right? Like as a kid, I think children are more intuitive than adults.
Oh yeah.
I think it's the voice in the head, which is the ego, just comes in and steamrolls fucking everything.
That's exactly what I think that's where like we were talking about, the Sasquatch have those scary dreams, and they try and chase your ego away to be able to start teaching you. Right?
So we should do some DMT sessions up on the mountain and see what happens, because then there'll be no egos around.
There you go. We'll be scared half to death when one pops up in your...
the Sasquatch just show up. They're like, we've been waiting. You guys are cool.
Yeah.
That's it. The Bob Marley comes on.
Yeah.
Maybe not Bob Marley. Have you noticed?
Maybe they'll sense your shift in the attitudes of shooting, like, actually you did change recently.
I said I don't want to shoot Sasquatch anymore.
Wow. And when did that change?
You would never win in that.
I just, it doesn't seem like the right thing to do.
Wow. Like this is a big
if I was going to eat Sasquatch, then maybe I could shoot it, but I'm not going to eat a Sasquatch. So I'll shoot a deer or something that I'm going to eat, because I think that's okay. Yeah. I think I'd rather do that than eat cows. But I don't think I could just shoot a Sasquatch anymore.
Was that from the DMT experience that changed? Or
I think it's just more of the whole love thing in general. I can't preach that and want to shoot a Bigfoot. It doesn't seem right. It doesn't seem authentic.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever wanted to shoot the Bigfoot. I might have just been posturing.
You might have just been going opposite to me as usual.
Just fucking
just fucking with me.
Yeah.
They're really fast. You wouldn't be able to.
Yeah.
The time you get your gun out and
Yeah.
be gone.
Yeah.
You have to have it out all the time.
People don't understand that, how
Yeah.
fast they are. Like they're like a speed of light.
So I wonder if I get to see a Bigfoot now because I'm on the record saying I'm going to shoot a Bigfoot like hundreds of times.
They're just gonna
So,
come banging on your
yeah,
bedroom
they're like,
window.
Is this
No, they know your
They know?
vibration has changed. We all have our signature vibration that's
Do they?
changed. You're more in the love vibration now. See, that's what they're trying to do. Get your vibration up.
all right? I can dig it.
There
Oh, she
you
has
go.
a nightmare tonight.
Maybe it's
Yeah, exactly.
my first dream in 3 years is just a terrible nightmare. Bunch of Bigfoots dragging me off to a cave.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, now I'm wondering if the Bigfoots are who gave us the plant medicine.
Well, maybe, eh? Maybe they're I mean, there is world, like they're all over the world, right?
Maybe
I mean,
they're the
all
shamans.
They're all
over,
over
like
the
these,
world.
you know,
They're
in
all
every
over the
culture.
world. They're just different sizes and colors, just
Yeah.
like
Just
our
like
races,
people.
just like
Yeah.
our races. Yeah,
There's no such thing as race.
but more
or gender.
so their climate.
Oh,
Right,
yeah,
they
yeah.
adopt their climate,
Yeah.
like the rocks, the trees, because
Yeah.
they camouflage.
The snow,
This
Yeah.
one's-
Yeti. Yeah.
we have a pet Yeti.
Yeah. My son actually had 2 dreams about there's a gray Sasquatch. We think it's a spiritual old one up in the mountains.
Wow.
And so that one actually reminds me
There
of
you go.
that.
Yeah.
So, but he's quite connected with them as well.
Wow.
Just through me. And he's been out there a few times.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, it's been eventful.
So, what do you want to talk about? Any? We've talked about.
Are you done for the year now?
house and-
Are you going
Done
to
for
go in
the
the
year?
winter?
I'd like to go up again, but it's like an hour back there, so the weather has to be good. The roads are rough.
Yeah.
I've literally got so many flat tires going up there.
Really?
Yeah. I used my mom's truck the last time, and it was brutal. Yeah, you have to have good tires.
You get hit with a lot of rocks too. The windshield.
Yeah.
I got a
Rocks,
massive
and I
hole
think
in
of the
it.
pressure going up there because the altitude is so high. It's just, I don't know, like it's different.
When I was on my way
You gotta
back
make
from
sure that you got good tires.
Yeah.
Ooh, the altitude.
The
yeah.
altitude.
That's
because-
another reason you would be in good shape.
Yeah, the altitude. It's amazing. You feel so cleansed. Like when you come down, you really realize the city, like just, really weighs down on you after a while.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
City.
What were you saying?
Caught in the grip of the city. I forget what I was going to say. What did I say? What did I start with?
I can't remember.
I don't think it wasn't important. Did they ever throw rocks at you? I always
No.
hear about the rock throwing.
Yeah, there's a
but
lot of
so
rocks on.
There's funny. They are pretty funny. Like I don't know. I'm sure if you guys have heard, they're kind of tricksters and they're they get pretty crazy. They throw a lot of things to like wake me up when I'm sleeping at the trailer. Tree branches, acorns. They tap the side of the trailer a lot. The whole back of the trailer is dented, like little dents from them throwing acorns, or
Wow.
what do you call it? Pine cones. And I found a little pile one day of like just little tiny broken tree branches. And I'm like, what is that?
That's
sound?
a pile of ammo there.
And throwing
They've gathered it all there.
because they try and keep me awake at night because they're just wild beings, right? They're nocturnal. And
Oh, so you figure they sleep through the day, probably then?
yeah,
Oh.
yeah, they're up
Nocturnal.
at nighttime.
Oh.
Yeah, they've
Like
their
teenagers.
I
eyes
don't
also
think I ever realized that.
glow. I'm sure
Yeah.
you know that, right?
Yeah.
Their eyes glow.
Yeah.
So, so I eventually worked it up to, I was always been by the fire and having them come by the fire, sit, in the trees, but they're around me, to going out to the woods, dark at night. That's what I did that last expedition.
Oh,
And sitting with them and having them
Wow.
come to me.
wow.
So I could have them, because the fire was the barrier between us.
Right. Yeah.
So that was the next thing I did. And that was really interesting.
Tell us about that.
That was like actually incredible. So I spoke with my
Because it was kind of
shaman.
cold too, though, at that point.
It wasn't too
It
bad.
wasn't too bad.
I
Okay.
just dressed in some layers
Yeah,
and
I
I brought a blanket out
Yeah.
and I sat kind of closer to the river because it's a little brighter by the river, the
Yeah.
opening there. So
Was it full moon?
That week was not a full moon. I've been out there a lot for the full moons just randomly and they are wild in the full moons.
A little easier
Yeah.
to see.
And here
Yeah.
you can hear them running along the tree lines. And but anyways, I sat out there and shut off my flashlight, and you can hear them just running up real close along the riverbed. They run that path a lot, so they were running down, and slowly coming up. I put,
You're by yourself?
I was by myself.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I'm not really afraid of them at this point though, right?
You're still in the woods in the dark. I mean, I'm just as scared of the woods
I'm
in the dark.
I'm more afraid of like a bear or a mountain lion coming out. So I was always with that. But when you can hear the Sasquatch, you feel safe. It's when you can't hear them that I feel a little nervous. Yeah. So I was out there and turn off my flashlight. And I also, something I've been doing for them is giving them gifts. And so we come to your land, we bring gifts, kind of like the old native
tobacco, bring tobacco,
bring food, we trade something. So I bring them, they really like walnut chocolate.
Wow.
So I bring them little 6 pieces and they would be gone. So they take them everywhere. So what I did was I set up kind of a ritual circle of them around my blanket with 6 spots because I predict there's 6 of them around me at nighttime. And set up I did napkins, set up almonds because they really like nuts, and then a walnut chocolate piece each. And I sat there.
How far away were those pieces?
And they were like right off my blanket. So I had a big blanket just right off there. So
pretty close,
yeah. So I would go there, I would kind of talk to them and say, my first one was like who I was. I'm sure they know who I am. However, just like now we're directly having that connection and conversation, talking to them. And then I can hear them all running down from the tree line, right? However, I couldn't see them. So it was really weird because I did go really quiet all of a sudden. So it went from, like, these guys sound like elephants when they run. I just want to make that clear. They're very loud when they run. So when they're coming down, all of a sudden it's like quiet. And I'm kind of getting freaked out. Like, okay, like, are they just like going to pop out of somewhere and like, you know what I mean? It's just so quiet. You can't hear them walking. You can't hear them running or anything, moving in the rocks. Can't hear the rocks anymore. And then all of a sudden I just like could see, like, it's kind of weird, but I could see like a invisible silhouette kind of like walking in front of me.
Like the Predator thing?
Yeah.
In a way?
It's like that. So weird. And I'm like, okay, like, am I starting to get too much fresh air out here? Right? So I leave my blanket because I'm kind of weirded out by this. I go back to the fire. I tell Daniel what I seen. He's like, I've heard that. I've heard that people can see this. I didn't know this.
They're like cloaked or something like that.
Yeah, cloaked. I didn't know this. Okay. So I'm like, this is weird. And I'm like, you're going to think I'm crazy when I tell you this. He says, no, that's like happened. I'm like, okay. So I'm going to wait. It was freezing this night, this one night. And so I waited by the fire a bit, warmed up, went back out. I looked on the napkins. There was some of the chocolates and almonds were missing from 3 or 4 of them. And then the other ones weren't touched yet. So I was like, okay, they're here. Okay. So this is saying I'm marking
some
that
of them are here.
They're here. Yeah. So then I started saying, I was, getting a little braver, saying like, come out and sit. I want you guys to come out and sit around your spots, kind of like a circle. Because they'd sit by me by the fire in a circle. So then I'm telling them to sit out in the woods with me, right? And I have a gift for you. So I see these silhouettes, like I literally can see them.
That invisible silhouette again, almost
but
like
I can see now numerous.
It was like a hazy kind of like.
It's like when you watch the Harry Potter movie where you can see like a little blur.
Okay.
It's like that, but it's white. It's like lighter. It's like a white color.
Okay.
It's light. And then I could see branches kind of whipping, like just random branches, like if they hit a tree. And right in front of me, a rock flipped. There was nothing there. I'm like, this is just getting weird. So I'm like, okay, this is crazy. So anyways, this happened. I left and went back 3 times. And the 3rd time I went back, everything was gone off the napkins.
Wow.
Okay. So whatever was out there, Sasquatch, was eating off these napkins.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was like, okay, this is crazy. But it wasn't like Daniel came out with me the next night. And the next night I'm like, I want you to witness this and see what you see, because this is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Right. So then the next night he came out there and he's like, that was crazy. We sat down the first time and went earlier and we saw 3 running in the trees.
All predator style?
All predator style.
Nice.
Yeah. And it was like, I'm like, tell me you can see that. Right. He's like 1, 2, 3. running in the trees.
Wow.
So yeah, they can.
So when you asked them to come and sit with you, they didn't actually get to the point where they sat like
like
right with the napkin, but they were around the they were coming in close, but not necessarily like sitting right there. Yeah.
They were. So we could see them walking, and some would walk, some would sit. But then one came in physical form right there by the tree.
Wow.
And Daniel was so freaked out. He's like, this looks like a freaking Halloween costume staring at us. Like, he got so weirded out we had to like leave the trees. It was like dark. They're so dark, right? The dark with the green eyes, and he was peeping around the tree, and I was telling him to come out from the tree because I just like want to see one physically. Like I've seen one physically, but like I want him to come like touch my arm and like
interact almost.
Right? Because this has been going on. So Daniel freaks out. He's like, this is just weird. It's like something out of a Halloween horror movie. Like, but they say that people are so scared of the way they look, and that's why I think that they go in all these other forms, right? Like, or this visible form, or they hide in the trees. They keep their distance. They bang on the trailer where you can't see them, and then they run and hide, right? Because it's a form of communication, but then you don't directly see them. Yeah, because they're scary, right? They're scary. Like, I was like, holy man, like this thing peeping out. He had this fluffy cheeks, and like, you could see him. Yeah. But then when we went out the third time, it was like in his visible, we couldn't see anything.
There was nothing.
No.
Yeah. Weird.
But you can see like if the trees are kind of hollow, they start to fill in, which is kind of sounds weird, but like you can't just see through the trees like you could. It's like something's
blocking it.
It's kind of hard to explain. Yeah. But yeah, and then everything would be picked off the napkins, but I would usually put 3 things on the napkin, like almonds, mixed nuts, and then like a chocolate. And they would always eat the chocolate first. We did this for 7 days. So they'd always eat the chocolate first, and then they would eat the nuts, and then I would come back the third time, and by the third time, everything was gone.
Wow.
So they'd pick like they were sitting like with you eating. It was really weird. But they wouldn't eat in front of us. Like, we couldn't sit there and see. You know what I mean?
See them see the food like literally disappear.
Yeah. So I got told to do that from my shaman, and it was incredible. Yeah. So that was interesting because we're like, if it was an animal coming up, it would eat everything. It would just eat the napkins, I'm sure too. Yeah. Right. So that was really interesting. And it was, I think the reason why that one came in its physical form was to show that we are here. Yeah. Right. And then like the whipping of the trees, that tree, when it whipped, it scared me. I almost jumped up and ran out. Like it was.
How far away was the physical one with the green eyes?
It was like from here to that Jersey right there.
Oh, wow.
Like it was right there. And it was a smaller one, like the skinny one that I've seen. I think it was Chester.
That was Chester. Yeah.
Yeah. He was slender. I've seen him in the broad daylight too, like quite close, crossing a riverbank. Me and Daniel seen him, I think 3 days before that. He was trying to sneak under the creek, under a tree. And I just looked, and I just seen his back, his hairy, light brown, red back, and wow, scurrying out. And I was like, oh my God, it's like right there.
So what do you plan to do next year with this? And I mean, if you've got, you must be kind of excited to go back and continue this a little bit. Like if you've got that spot,
you
and
guys got to bring some psychedelics out there. I'm telling you.
No, I think why would you even want to do anything different than what she's doing? Because she's already built the rapport. Yeah. Like I just heard somebody talking about Sasquatch, like staying in the same location is very important in a way. Like people keep moving around and expecting it.
I think they move around too.
Yeah, like they'll find you there.
Well, that's what the Indians did. That's what we used to do, right? It gets hot, we head south, or cold, we head south. That's why we just had the teepees, man. Throw that shit on your shoulder, away you go. Chase the weather.
Exactly.
How can we be sure it's not just Justin Trudeau in another one of his disguises?
Oh dear.
That one was from the chats. I couldn't resist.
And then someone actually said, like, how do you know it's not, oh, my mom said that, how do you know it's not someone running around in a suit in the woods? I'm like, well that's a pretty far-fetched thing.
That should be documented too.
Yeah, some people think that. They think that.
Oh my God, these guys are so fast. Like, you know what I mean? There's a human would trip over the toes of a costume, be on their face or something. Like these guys, I can't explain how fast they are. like during the day when we were hiking once, we were waiting for, so this is when we went on expedition with Todd and Qatar. We were waiting for them, me and Daniel at the bottom. And we were like, oh, look, there they are. Whew. One Sasquatch runs, the other one runs. And we're like, whoa, where did they? That is not a human, whatever that was.
Yeah.
Like they're so fast. Like the time that a person would start running, the Sasquatch would already be like so many meters ahead of them, like just boom. And we're like, whoa. I said to Daniel, did you see that? Did you see that? And then he ran back for the third time, the one. It's like, holy crap. And they were following Todd down. Todd was there.
Oh, interesting.
Right? They were following him down. So I was like,
so are you going to do more expeditions in the summer then? Like next spring and summer? Or,
yeah, I'll do.
you know, and
I'll
people
do
can
some,
go with you? Like, are you opening it? You open it up to people? And...
I'll, it's different up there, right? Like it takes a special person to be up there. I mean, it's like no service. You're eating, we prep stews and stuff like that to cook by the fire and certain meals. And we drink river water and we don't use any electricity other than fire up there.
Yeah.
And flashlights. But, I mean, the hiking's pretty crazy. The wildlife's crazy. Like we had a bear come around our site to actually one night. Todd had to really shoo him away. Right. So like you have to be pretty have a lot of guts to be up there.
Yeah.
So, it just kind of depends. I mean, and then you mix in Sasquatch into it.
Yeah. Well, we definitely had people that were interested when I posted it last time. Just nobody could go at the last minute like that.
Yeah,
but,
it was really last minute. Yeah. And that expedition kind of was because Daniel wanted to go out and we kind of just had a trailer and ready to go. And
we were going to go. That was the one you told us about?
Yeah.
I had to pick up my kids at 8 a.m. the next day. So I was like, that's a haul back from radio.
I was even thinking like we could go for the weekend maybe, like not the full week.
That
was
weekend,
actually,
that weekend was terrible weather.
Yeah,
like
that's right.
Like we didn't get the bad weather as they did down below. However, it was still cold.
Yeah.
And then we started a lot of our research on Sunday night. Like we had fires every night. We could actually have fires every night up there, which was crazy. But our research really started on that Monday, and then I just continued. I actually stayed an extra weekend, so I was out there for 10 days. Yeah, just because I was having a lot of success with what was going on.
Oh yeah, well, you wouldn't want to leave. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what? And then what about any documentaries coming out or anything like that? Of Todd's or anything like that?
I don't know. Todd's working on Discovering Bigfoot 2.
Right.
So the Discovering Bigfoot 2, he's been working on for quite a while now. I think over a year, year and a half. He's got lots of good pieces in there. So it's just ongoing thing for him.
Yeah. What's your goal like for yourself and like, do you feel like the need to bring actual evidence to people? So many people still disbelieve, and there's so many people that that do believe there's a real polarization. But do you care about that even, like pictures and videos, or
like at the beginning, I was unsure anything about the Sasquatch, and now I feel like they need to be just left alone. I feel very strongly about that.
So you don't really care about bringing evidence to people necessarily. It's like whatever you can interact them on your own, but to try and like just leave.
I think as soon
as them alone as far as that goes.
Yeah, I think they want to be left alone. I think that's why they're not around cameras and people with cameras. Todd has had a lot of rocks thrown at him from the Sasquatch, right? Because he does a lot of documenting with them. So I think that there's a relationship barrier there with those two, because he wants to protect them, but he also wants to reveal them. I think the Sasquatch don't want that. So there's kind of a gray area there. And I mean, the media wants to know if they exist or not. And I just don't think it's important that we reveal them. I think it's good that the public doesn't know that they are real or not real.
That's interesting.
It's left to be a mystery. And I think that's
for people that really want to know, they can find out themselves, or if not, then whatever. Like you don't have to force the belief down anybody.
Exactly. Like when we did that Mysteries Decoded episode, I think it was good, really well done, because there was, is it real? Is it not real? Right. So it's kind of left a mystery.
Yeah.
I thought that was actually really good, the way that Star Entertainment did that episode with we had lots of, trackers in it. We had, Todd in it. We had doctors in it, and we had specialists, park specialists. Like we had lots of opinions. So it's like, I think that's just how it should be left. with them.
Similar to when we go out looking for UFOs, we do the C5 thing where we meditate and we see flash bulbs, we see craft flying through, but we don't, I'm not out there trying to capture it on camera because I don't want to ruin my experience with it, but also because you can't, what's it going to prove? Somebody can go, oh, it's just, you can't prove a photo or a video is real. You can only prove it's fake. So somebody will just say, oh, it's just unknown or whatever. And all you're going to see is this little light in the camera and it's not going to, so maybe they're even interacting more because we're not trying to video that. I mean, that's interesting to think about.
As soon as I put the camera down, I stopped trying to, get footage. Is when the relationship really took off.
Wow.
So I just feel very strongly about, life's about experiences. It's not really about documenting.
Yeah.
Right? Like it is like, I don't really care if people believe me or they don't believe me. Right? Like I know what's real. I know, I'm experiencing life to a whole new limit. And there's a lot. We live in a planet with so much unknown. Like there's so much unknown. And it's like, I think that's the beautiful thing about planet Earth is, it's this never ending place of learning. Right. And everyone has all kinds of different experiences here, but I mean, get off the grid a little, get out of the city and really start to live.
What do your fitness people think about that?
Oh my gosh. I'm sure they fucking think it's just wild. What is this girl doing? Sasquatch. Right? This girl's going crazy from her divorce.
That'll happen.
She's really finding herself.
She's really finding herself out with the wild men out there.
I went the psychedelic route. Psychedelics, Bigfoot, whatever works.
Yeah.
It's all better than like a slow devolvement into alcoholism or something like that, right? That's
and
what
it's like
some people choose.
Well, you're more grounded. You're learning. There's different dimensions out there.
Yeah.
Right? So whatever can open your mind up to it. Like,
yeah, definitely.
Careful what you wish for, though. Sasquatch might appear.
Drag you off to a cave.
Drag you off to a cave, yeah.
Well, when they rescue you, we'll do another show.
Yeah.
And talk about the
we should get you back again for sure. So, I mean, I didn't realize it's so fresh and it's you're so new to this whole thing. So like next spring or whenever you come back and we'll catch up with where you're at with everything.
It'll be next summer for sure. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah. Right on. Is there anything else you want to say before we wrap it up?
I don't really think so. No.
Social media or website URLs or anything like that? Most people don't look in the show notes, so it's always better to say it. Don't tell Graham. We found out recently
I'm doing my following. My following is mostly fitness, but I'm starting to gear towards my own media and production stuff.
Right.
Some projects that I'm working on too, but mine's just my website's veenstarfitness.com, www.
VENSTRA fitness.com.
Yeah, Veenstar. And then I got
AR.
Is
it Veenstar or Veenstra?
Veenstar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Veenstar.
Oh, yeah. Fuck. And then I have just my Instagram.
No.
I'm more
her name.
Sorry, I thought
your
I spelled
name's
your
Veenstra, right? But your Veenstar, right?
Okay.
I changed it around.
I thought I messed up your name, and I was just figuring it out at the end of the show.
No. My dad actually started a company, and he liked Veenstar.
Yeah.
And so I've kind of stolen.
Oh, cool.
From him
Oh, that's hilarious.
So it's all good.
People are gonna search. You're gonna ruin his SEO.
Yeah, I know. So I'm like, I'm gonna.
Oh, these Bigfoot people showing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
So sorry, what were you saying when we interrupted you there? Your Instagram
just my
or something
Instagram
like
is Veenstar1.
Okay.
Veenstar1, yeah.
Okay.
And but yeah, I'm kind of working up some projects, some production people in Vancouver, and just into regards to some work that I'm doing, and yeah, it's gonna
talk about it, or
I'm going to it's gonna be more fitness related. It's a TV show. We're gonna kind of enter it's kind of balancing fitness, kind of our I guess lifestyle, healthy lifestyle, what we were kind of discussing earlier. So we're gonna do 5 topics. It's gonna be eating, like nutrition.
Yeah.
It's gonna be spiritualism, relationship, outdoors, and exercise.
Wow.
So
that
we wanted
sounds awesome.
Yeah. So we like I'm known in the fitness industry. However, it's like, how can you be healthy nowadays with the society that we have? And we're actually going to travel and kind of touch base on the 5 topics. Everywhere in the world is different, right? Like some are geared more towards spiritualism before exercise and nutrition, right?
Yeah.
And others are vice versa. Like us, we eat terrible here, and our spiritualism's like not even existent. So we're gonna go interview people and put together, knowledge on all those 5 topics, and it's kind of
wow, that sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the stuff we talk about here. We've had some of the like relationship experts on the show as well, and of course spiritualism and
because
I mean it's all important,
relationships.
right?
I think is our first thing that we focus on here over everything. So
that's like my thing. The way I look at it is the whole world is based upon one-on-one relationships. So we should probably figure that shit out.
Exactly.
Before we kill each other.
I know, and it's getting to be a little bit just crazy, social media and everything. So we just want to have an open mind to it, and maybe people like you can, have people that are talking and colliding, and someone's depressed, for instance, or from something they're going through. We have a TV show, we have psychologists or ways that you can deal with depression. It might be an outlet for somebody, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So that's kind of the main focus. And then to start traveling would be kind of cool to doing that into other countries. The biggest thing is, like I was mentioning, is increasing our positive energy and love in the world.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
we need more of that.
If I had $1 for every show that ended like that, I'd have like $50.
Yeah.
Which isn't bad at a 400, right?
That's no, it's probably more like it's 40%, I'd say now.
You think it's that many?
Yeah, it all comes back to love. We talk about it all the time.
A couple of fucking hippies.
It's like we just sacrifice too much for it, right?
Yeah.
Like, so I'm just gonna keep it simple. Like being up in the mountaintops really opens your eyes up.
Yeah, fantastic.
To like what what life has become. Because I go back down into civilization, and it's like, we don't really need phones. We don't need this. We don't need that. But, your society kind of sucks you back into it, right?
Yeah, you have to.
It's a whirlwind.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, just keep things simple is the underlining answer to that.
Well, let us know when that comes out.
Thing.
Keep it simple, stupid. Yep.
Yeah.
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah. But let us know when that comes out, and we'll talk about it on the show. We'll pump it or push it out for you or whatever.
Yeah.
And for sure. We can even have you on for a little intro to describe it or whatever.
Yeah, because we're planning to get it going. I think next week I'm going to be in Vancouver.
Wow, good.
And we're going from there. Hopefully we want the first episode going by January.
Wow, that's great.
The new year. And then from there we're going to travel.
What's it called again? Do you have a name or you're not sure? Yeah.
Not yet.
Okay.
We have a few names in mind, but we'll have to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it'll be really good once we get it moving. I think it'll help a lot of people, and then the direction that we want it to go.
Awesome.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
That's how you make the world a better place.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Better humans.
Yeah.
Then you get a better government, and then Graham's happy because we have jobs.
Yeah.
So I guess that's as good a spot to wrap it up.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
So.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
So.
Great chat.
Thanks for coming on the show, Ashley.
Thanks for having me.
Big thanks for coughing. Big thanks to all the smart asses in the chat room with their smart ass comments. I will say that we did get more super chats than normal, and I only had to mute one person.
Oh, wow.
So that's a good week. The stream went out without a hitch. So that's good news too. Grimerica.ca/support. If you guys want to support the show, if you enjoy what we're doing here and you find you're getting a little value from the 390 episodes we provided to you for free without any commercials, go to Grimerica.ca/support. Sign up for a monthly today. Check out the show notes so that Graham doesn't do the show notes for nothing. He's feeling a little down on the show notes, so let's perk him back up. Hit those show notes, do all the links, review the show, do all that great stuff. Other than that, thanks for listening. Have some good vibes for your weekend, and we'll see you next week.
Season's greetings from the Grimerica Show podcast. Gather round the fireplace. Help yourself to some hot cocoa with a little marshmallows in it. Maybe have a candy cane or two, and maybe some cookies. It's so warm and jolly. Cry Merry Christmas. Podcasting from the igloo. Darren plays jingle bells on the didgeridoo. And over there, that's Graham crying tears of joy as he listens in on the little drummer boy. Pa-rum-pa-pum-pum. I see you've acquainted yourself with D-Ron. Yeah, it's true, he pops Christmas trees up medicinal. Wait a second, is that? Yeah, I think that's Sasquatch beneath the mistletoe.
Get over here, Graham. Thank you for saving me and give me a kiss.
And it looks like Napoleon Doom is decorating the room with tinsels, ribbon, popcorn on strings, and poinsettias. They are in bloom. And you might ask, who's that in the green and red Lucha Libre mask? Why, of course, that's RPJ. Feliz Navidad. It's a warm and jolly cry Merry Christmas. Podcasting from the igloo. Darren plays jingle bells on the didgeridoo. And over there, that's Graham crying tears of joy as he listens in on the little drummer boy. You'll get a warm and fuzzy feeling if you donate to the Grimerica show. So get in the spirit, reach down in your pocket and make it rain. Let it snow, make it snow, let it snow, let it snow, make it snow. Donate to the show. Donate to the show. Donate to the show. It's so warm and jolly. Cry Merry Christmas. Podcasting from the igloo. Darren plays jingle bells on the didgeridoo. And over there, that's Graham crying tears of joy as he listens in on the little drummer boy.
If more of you supported the show, I'd be less sick of podcasts.
The blah blah.
Sending out good vibes.
The blah blah.
Good vibes.
Blah
Good vibes.
blah. The blah blah.
Good vibes. Good vibes.
108 breaths of deep gratitude and prayers for guidance and protection. And put on a didgeridoo and shamanic drumming track. Shivers or vibrations and stuff like that. 108 breaths of deep gratitude and prayers for guidance and protection. And put on a didgeridoo and shamanic drumming track. Shivers or vibrations and stuff like that. 108 breaths of deep gratitude and prayers for guidance and protection. And put on a didgeridoo and shamanic drumming track. Shivers or vibrations and stuff like that.
If more of you supported the show, I'd be less sick of podcasts.
Grimerica/support.